Yo, 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 big up, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up to all the people in the building. It's your boy Jason Gooner back again. We're gonna do some Reggae Girls content this time. You know, we are in camp in France right now. We have the friendly on Friday versus the France national team. And I wanted to just give the Reggae Girls their own program highlighting the players in the squad, what they have been up to so far this season. Also, there are some new names that people might not be familiar with, so I want to familiarize you guys with some of these new players that the coach has been able to acquire for the team. And of course, as we normally do before the Reggae Boys matches, we want to, put out some maybe potential starting 11s with the names that we know are on the squad, some ways that we could potentially set the team out to play versus France. All right. So this is going to be a fully informative show. Hopefully the people have that thirst for the knowledge, because we're going to definitely bring the knowledge to you. I did a little bit of research since the squad has been dropped, trying to figure out where these players are playing, what they're doing with themselves. So I'm going to go through what I have found. So it's going to be very informative, very interactive. We're going to have the stats on the screen, my style. And we're going to go that way to just get the program running in that direction. All right, people. So just want to let you guys know that, of course, this is YouTube. So we have some things that YouTube actually requires of the viewers, right? So the first thing, definitely, you need to like the video. That's the first thing you need to do for me. So there is a thumbs up button on the screen. Go ahead and click on that so you can drop a like on the video. That is how you support the channel. You get it out there into the algorithm so people can know to find us and know that we are live, and they will push out and do the rest for us, right? If you are in any networks yourself that follow football, follow Jamaican football in particular, share this content into those spaces so that more and more people can know that we're making this content. I think one of the big issues sometimes is, not issues, but there's a lot of different people making content around these topics. And sometimes you can get lost in the whole shuffle of all of that. So yeah, just do me that support, do me that favor, share me into these groups so that people can know that there's someone else in the space, and let them look and decide for themselves whether they want to do the last thing I'm going to ask you guys to do, and that is subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are very, very thankful. We have been able to get over the 1,000 mark relatively quickly, and now we're just continuing to grow the channel. As the channel grows, the channel content will improve as well. I am learning as I go with this YouTube thing. And I just want to thank all the people that have helped me out in any way, giving me advice, showing me how the ropes kind of run on YouTube. We are very, very appreciative and always looking to learn more so we can improve people. Never forget that you can always learn more and improve people. It's very, very important that you believe that within yourself, because you need to keep on trying to get better at whatever it is that you're doing. All right. Up, Sheridan, Wagwan, my brethren, big up yourself. Hope you and the family are well. Yeah, man, best us above earth. Yeah, that is the plan, to stay above as well. So, yeah, man, we are watch your head back and we just take the time and I try the earth. Yeah, man, this jersey is ridiculously fire. This is probably my favorite jersey of all time right now. Maybe it's recency bias. I always love the I think it was Lanzera, the one where it came up across like this. The design, that's a classic one as well, but this one, people, is bad. I'm telling you. I like the last home jersey we had before the newest one too, but now that I'm seeing the new home jersey on the pitch, it looks better than what I thought it would look like. So I do like the new home jersey. I need to get that one as well, but this one right now is definitely my favorite piece of merch from the team. This jersey is fire jersey. I always like jerseys that, like, you can just wear anytime, and I think this fits the bill with the design. Like, it's not, that's the only thing I don't love about the home one. It's kind of plain, but I think it makes sense on the pitch. It looks good, so I would wear that to training or out to a match or something. But this I would put this on anytime and just go out of the house with it, because it just look nice. Bless up, Flo, to Aguama, bro. Yeah, man. So I'm gonna make the people go and find the channel, find the programming, because I want a lot of people to be able to view this. So definitely, I know after the show is over, people will still watch it. That's one thing I will say. Thanks so much to the subscribers. If you don't catch me live, you typically take the time whenever you have the time to watch So yeah, to watch the programming. So yeah, I'm just gonna let a little bit of time add up. I was thinking to start the program with the press conference, with Busby and everything. What do you guys think on that? Should I do that, or just jump right into the players and what they've been up to and go through the squad? Let me know, people, because sometimes I think it's a good way to kind of get the show going, let people know we're live, to that kind of start out that way before I dive into the info. But at the same time, I do want to give all 22 players that got called their time. And I think that might take up the full 2 hours that I plan to do the show. So I will just see how it goes, people. I think I might just go with the info. Most people probably would have heard the press conference already. Okay, so Float asking for the press conference. Sheridan said run it. All right, cool. So we'll run the press conference first, because I don't know who to really steer the ship of these programs, because without you guys, there's really no point to make these programs. So let me go ahead and find the audio, people. I'm not going to put it on screen or anything. I will just play it, and I'll just follow along with the comment section, see what you guys saying. And if I need to stop it and talk about something, we will. But the press conference wasn't so long, so it shouldn't be too bad. So let me just find the video, the audio. All right, so where is it? Official presser. All right, cool. Yeah, man, people, and remember, just do a Nigel. I say, smash a like. Well, if you hit it 3 times, that's okay, because you will hit once. Second time, we take it away. The third time, put it back. So if you want to do that, that's fine. So big up Nigel Garden. All right, so Float say yes. So we're going to run it. Sheridan say run it. DJ Gigs, up, fam. Yeah, man, we outside I put in the work, as I say yesterday. That is the main plan, We're just trying to put in the work. So it tell me say it gone now. All right, I'm going to find the next way for play this then. No problem. They might make me work, people. They might make me work, but that's okay. A little work never hurt nobody. All right, so let me go to this. I know it was posted afterwards, so let me go to here. Okay, here we go. All right, so big up to JFS Live for putting out this. This is the squad announcement presser.
For members of the media that are joining in, we kindly ask that you put your microphone on mute. And also from the video aspect of things, if you are not properly attired, we kindly ask as well that you turn off your video so as not to disturb others in this press conference. Again, thank you very much for your presence. It is greatly appreciated as we look forward to what lies ahead for our senior women's national team, not only next week, but for the remainder of this calendar year as well, and what lies ahead for next year. Before we get some opening remarks from head coach of the senior women's national team, Hubert Busby, firstly, we just want to touch on what lies ahead. And of course, next week, Friday, it's a friendly international against France. Of course, a country and an opponent that will live long in the memory of Jamaicans, as Jamaica's first ever point at a Women's World Cup came against the French. And of course, we know our first World Cup appearance for men and women came in France as well. So great memories in that aspect of things. And of course, in November 29 and December 2, 2 friendly internationals on home soil against Banyana. That is the South Africa women's national team. And that will be November 29 and December 2. 2025, an exciting year, not only for the men, but for the women as well, as the women kickstart proceedings for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers. Again, similarly to the 2023 format, it's a 32-team tournament. CONCACAF has 4 spots, and 2 teams will head to the intercontinental playoffs. So that's some basic information so that everybody's aware. So firstly, let's get into some opening remarks from our head coach, Busby. Coach Busby, good afternoon to you, sir. I hope you're doing well. Let's just start off with how the last couple of months have been since the Brazil camps in the summer, what has taken place. And of course, many would know as well the similarities, of course, with you and Coach McClaring having represented Oxford United in England as well. How has it been meeting him as well? And of course, what the last few months have been for you and the rest of the technical staff of the women's national team?
Yes, thanks, Simon. Afternoon, everyone. Appreciate you taking the times out of your busy schedules to join us here this afternoon. We're looking forward to this match versus France. Since the last time we got together, in Brazil in May into June. The players have kind of settled into their clubs. There's been an extended break within, due to the Olympics. So when we kind of last time got together, a lot of the players were coming off of, or just coming off a vacation and coming back to get ready to play. So it was a little different playing rhythm to us. And look, we knew, going into those games against Brazil that they were going to be tough matches. They were getting ready to play in the Olympics, and we saw how great they did in the Olympics as well. And even with their new sort of cycle that they've begun. So we will continue with our cycle. This is all in preparation for the World Cup in 2027. We're excited to be playing these matches. I think if you would have said, 3 years ago that the likes of Brazil and France are reaching out to play matches against Jamaica on a regular basis, yes, there might be some revenge factor in those teams wanting to play. But overall, it's just a testament to how far this program has come, and more importantly, really how far we still need to go as well. So as we kind of set up charted this course in terms of how we're going to get to this World Cup, one of the things that we really wanted to do is ensure that we are deliberate in the games that we're playing and trying to play as many top 10, top 20 opponents as possible to ensure that we are tested heading into World Cup qualifiers and arguably, one of the top confederations, in the world when it comes to women's football. So, a lot of work has been gone into it, and obviously we're looking forward to this camp. And looking forward to taking a look at some players and embedding some new staff into the program as well. So I'll kind of touch base on that a little bit later on in our discussion here. But thanks for joining us here again.
Yeah, so before we unveil the squad list, Coach, just wanted to get your reactions briefly. Persons would have been aware that you were in England recently. What was that experience like, keeping tabs of our players, apply their trade in Europe? What was that experience, and also mingling with the staff as well on the men's side of things?
Yes, we had a really positive trip last month. Our assistant coach and analyst, Sanford Kerman, and I made a trip to the UK to check in on players as well as speak with new prospective players, met with a few clubs. Obviously, we had a chance to view some really good games. So obviously, Bunny played live at the Emirates on opening day. Obviously, Drew and Becky as well on the same day, making 2 games in one. And then just speaking with some players and trying to get some games. We were able to go up. Bunny hosted us up in Manchester for her Champions League game, which was really good. It was great to see her open her Champions League account on the day as well. So, it's been overall positive. And then while over there, I had a chance to sit down with the men's staff and discuss in ways in terms of how we can continue to grow collectively and collaboratively in terms of making sure that our programs are the best in the region. So overall, very positive, and may the collaboration and the good workflows continue.
All right, wonderful. So for members of the media, momentarily you'll be able to.
So yeah, just to touch on that real quick. I think I like what he said about how far it seems Jamaica would have come, because there are top 10 teams reaching out to do games with Jamaica. So that is a very good sign. I think that's something that the fact that maybe in the women's game, the implementation of the different leagues, Nations League, all these other competitions isn't there. It kind of opens itself more to, Jamaica potentially playing better opposition in these international windows. So that's something that I think Jamaica women's team need to take advantage of. Any of these windows like this one coming up and the one later where we don't have any scheduled CONCACAF competitions to play in, we need to really take advantage of those opportunities to play better teams. I think that's something that just, the calendar for the men's game just doesn't lend itself to that. We saw recently, the 4 teams that are out of the Nations League group stage, when you're talking about Canada, USA, Panama, and Mexico, you know, they pretty much only could play each other. You know, all the other confederations have their games going on. South America would have had their qualifying for World Cup. Same goes in Asia currently. In Europe, they're doing their Nations League matches as well. So there's really nowhere around the world to play top 10 teams outside of your confederation unless you're in these big competitions. So with the women's game not really having that, I guess you'd say, logjam of fixtures, there is space to play pretty much any team you can try to play in these windows. And I'm very, very happy that Jamaica is taking advantage of that by playing a team as powerful and as potent as a France. So long may that continue. As Sheridan said, wish it was the case with the senior men's team. I just think the calendar doesn't allow for it, if we're being totally honest. You know, a lot of times, you know, I'm always there to say when the JFF maybe is not putting the right foot forward, but in this instance, they're really handcuffed due to the fact that the fixtures are just full. Every pretty much international window is spoken for in some form of CONCACAF competition moving forward. So it's just not there. The space is not there to play the game. So good that the girls are taking advantage of what they can in this case. Is Malika Days injured or something? DJ Giggs, you know, I have a list of players that I'm kind of surprised didn't make the journey to France, and Malika is one of them. So you know, once we go through the 22, if time permits, I was going to just talk briefly on some of those players that I thought maybe could have been in the list. And I think I have about 3 players on there, and Malika Days is one of them. So we will get to that point at some point. All right, DJ Giggs. But yeah, I agree. I was kind of surprised she's not in the mix, especially seeing that her sister is in the mix. Because I think of the two of them, if I'm being totally honest, the defensive one was the one I thought would have been closer to making the squad. So that was a bit of a surprise. I mean, I think Michaela has the quality to be in this team, no doubt. But when I look at the defenders in particular, I'm sure that Malika could have had a place in there as well. So yeah, I'm with you on that one, DJ Giggs. Which are the girl, a 20-year-old in the team? Well, I'll get there, big deal. Don't rush a thing. Don't rush a thing. Hopefully you're asking about the 20-year-old for different reasons, you know. Kimali said real talk, yeah. Yeah, not their fault, you know. Yeah, Float. I don't have those girls from FSU and the D1 programs in my list of missing people, because you'll hear as I play this now why they're not available. And I think it makes sense. So let me play some more, because he does speak to some of the people not in there. Yeah, man. Big league now. Watching, you know. Jean-Pierre fan, big up.
Match against France. So what we're going to ask now, Coach Busby, is that you go through together some of the new faces so that persons are aware and some of those conversations, and how excited you are looking forward to these upcoming matches.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. I think, first of all, obviously, we're missing a lot or most of our college players. Like, as I alluded to before, our
listen, people, listen.
Grown exponentially, you know, to close to 60 players. You know, the issue we have with our college kids, over 20 odd players at the Division I level, they're in the midst of their college season right now. So it's very difficult to get the release for that, as the FIFA has no jurisdiction over the NCAA. But more importantly, we want to ensure that the players are not being put in a situation where they have to choose between staying in school and come. They all want to represent their country, but we also have a really good relationship with those colleges, and we want to respect the idea that a lot of these schools are looking to compete for a national championship. So that sort of eludes most of the players from the college, unless they've had a previous sort of conversation with their college coach and us saying that, you know, that would be okay. So in this squad, look, obviously the most notable one, obviously, is Bunny. We spoke last week. She has an issue that kind of limits her travel with her passport. So she's going to try to look to get that rectified next week. So that's why she's not in the squad. And similarly with the likes of Kanya. So hopefully we get that resolved and we can have them for the next window. But again, provides an opportunity for us to bring in some new players to evaluate within this phase of the program. So we're really excited. We've spoken to Taylor Hines a few years.
So just want to pause real quick. So he speaks about the issues with Bonnie Shaw and Kanya Plummer. There were some visa, passport related issues that they're going through, which meant that they couldn't travel to play this game. He didn't say this in the press conference. You know, the people that I think he brought in for those players, but just based on the names on this list and just my knowledge of the team and the players, I am of the mind that Malia Atkins is the player in the defensive role that would take the spot of Kanya, especially due to where she is right now in her career. You know, just left college last year and now getting into the professional ranks, getting started out. I think she's probably one more to the future that we would be looking at in this window due to Kanya being out. And then the other one that I would say more than likely took the place of Bunny. It could be Michaela that took the place, but I'm thinking it might have been even Natasha Thomas who took her place. But I could be wrong there. He didn't really say verbatim which two took the place of Kanya and Bunny, but I'm just speculating there.
Years ago, and you know, the captain of Liverpool, we're glad that she's in our squad to make up, you know, to come in and bed within what we're trying to do. Lulu Jarvis is another young player that we've been monitoring. Just made a move from Brighton to Plymouth at 20 years of age. She's another up-and-coming player. The same with Rihanna Blades, who was on the books of Chelsea, who's just moved to Burnley. I credit a lot of these players who, might be looked at dropping down a level, but they're looking to invest in themselves and to play as opposed to necessarily, stunt their growth and development by staying made what would be considered a bigger club, but not necessarily getting the minutes that they need. And as we know, that's vitally important coming into international football, is that players are playing meaningful minutes week in, week out, which is good to see that all our players are doing so now. And that's credit to all of them and all the hard work that they've put in to be a regular in their team. So
all right, people, I have to pause it there because the man just said some powerful words a while ago. So him say he wants to give full credit to these younger players that he's called up for, quote unquote, stepping down in order to get more regular minutes, first team football, because in your development, it is more important to be playing than to say I'm a part of this big squad that I'll never get a game for. And I think people need to hear that and accept that as something that is a true factor in life. You know, we kind of judge our players a lot on the leagues they're in and this and that and that. But, you know, I would definitely take a player in a lower league that's playing every week, challenging themselves, you know, has the fitness to play full matches because they're playing a lot of matches, over a player in the top league in that country that has only played in like minutes of cup matches. You know, I would go with the player that's playing more regularly, personally. And I think that this coach has that same mindset, and that's a great one to have. And I think our fans need to realize that as well. Don't necessarily look at what the move that was made is, and if you know the club or not, or if you watch that league or not. When the players go to the league that you don't know about, research what the player's been doing. If he's playing 90 minutes or she's playing 90 minutes per game, then it was a good move for that player. Because those 90 minutes that they're picking up over and over and over, they'll be right back in that same league at a higher level when they go back and then playing more in that higher league. So I'm telling you, that is a great way to look at it by the coach, and I think our fans need to think the same.
May that continue. Natasha Thomas is someone who's kind of reached out. We've been monitoring her well, so we're looking to bring her in and see how she fits in. Davia Richards has come through the program. Is shown well with Fraser's Whip through all those different experiences. We're looking to see how she beds in well with this group as well. And we continue to evaluate all the players from the Gold Cup. Again, a lot of those are in college all the way through up until Brazil. And we'll continue to do so as we head into the South Africa matches. All right.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Much appreciated. There, as you can see on your screen, folks, the squad on your screen. What we ask at this point in time, please raise your hand. Raise your hand at this point. Any questions you have towards Coach Busby, and I will indicate your presence, and then we can commence in this question and answer segment. All right, so we can proceed in terms of the questions. Please raise your hand, and then we can be able to get into the questions based on what you see on the screen. So let's start things off with Matthew McAnuff-Jones. So Matthew, go ahead.
So Lan, my address Deco, because Deco is like crying foul on this visa stuff, saying that it's a city fight against thing, and saying that she played in France. But Deco, you have to remember, you know, how these visa things work, you know. Just because you played in France for a time doesn't mean that you have unlimited access to go to France and leave France whenever you want. So if you're playing in European competition, you know, all of your, you know, right now she's only eligible, as far as I know, to travel to England because that's where she works. So it is down to the club. If any visa needs to be updated or anything of that nature, they would have had to have done that. And clearly either their negligence or not realizing what she needed. I don't know. I would have to lay the blame at them, because this was something that we learned about from Man City not being able to have her travel to play a match in the Champions League the other day. So, you know, it's an odd one, but it's one that can be possible, because if your paperwork has expired for you to be able to travel freely around the EU, then you know you'd need to update that. You know what I'm saying? Boss Thomas said, do you think the addition to the midfield has improved the team? I would say so. I think when you look at some of the players, definitely, you know, I'm really excited about Jarvis and Blades, and I'll talk more in depth about them soon. But just their age profiles, you know, where they have been in their careers, you know, the starts that they have had in terms of their academy life, their development. Both got moves this season to get more permanent first team minutes, and I think that has paid dividends for them both. So they are improving as players, and I do think that, you know, when I look at them in the context of some of the other options we've seen in the past, then I would say that they are improvements. We might not see the best of them right away because, as I said, they're very young, inexperienced players, but I just love the fact that we're getting this type of age group of girls, because, you know, these are the type of players in 3-4 years, you know, they develop well and they start to really put out some great performances. They get back to that top tier in England per se, and, you know, at that time maybe they're harboring thoughts of getting England calls. So I just love that we are going for these players on the women's side even before perhaps, you know, they have gotten to their full level as players, because I think that's what will endear them to playing for Jamaica. You know, if you come for me now when I'm still in my, you know, sort of development phase, then I'll have more love for you down the road, because I know before I got to the finished article, you guys were willing to work with me. You know what I'm saying? So I just like the fact that we're able to attract players this young who have all their careers ahead of them, and, you know, they could become potentially world beaters, and they would have already, you know, pledged their allegiance to Jamaica, which is a great thing. Something that we are shying away from on the men's side due to the coach's statements, which I don't think is the right way to go, personally. I mean, we should go for any player that is eligible as long as they express any desire to try to play for us, and not to worry about, oh, well, maybe later in their career they would want England, and, you know, that doesn't matter. If today is today, and let's work with today. Bonnie play in Europe and never have an issue. No, I come to England, so save thing, and now all of a sudden. Well, Deco, I can tell you the last time Man City played a game in Europe, she wasn't in the squad as well. So they've played another game since, and she wasn't in it either. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand how that someone as prominent as Bonnie, like, that's crazy oversight on the part of the club. Like, how did you not sort that out? I don't understand. Actually, all right, cool. Because, you know, it's crazy, Boss Thomas. You read my mind, you know, because I have it pulled up on another tab in my, you know, on my screen right here. So let me show you guys. So this was an article from ESPN at the time of her missing. This is what it said. WSL Golden Boot holder Khadija Bonishaw will miss out on the first leg of Man City's Champions League qualifying match against Paris on Wednesday due to a visa issue. The Guardian first reported Shaw's absence, revealing Jamaican international has not traveled to France following the issue, adding that the club reportedly sent Shaw to the French embassy in search of an emergency visa, but the request for an expedited application was denied. City have not reached Champions League group stage since that time. Last campaign, they finished fourth, blah, 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 blah. Crashed out in the qualifying. See if there's anything else about it. Impressive. Vivian Miedema, big baller. Golden Boot Award. Qualifying was last turn, finished third. Okay, so basically that's all they say about it in this particular ESPN article. I don't know if you have one other one that you want me reference, but when I typed in visa issues, this was the first one. So they tried to send her to get an emergency one. Let's see. This is the same time, September 18. So AI have an overview for you. Failed to submit Shaw's visa application. The club sent Shaw. Okay, so the visa issue is actually resolved. Okay, so this was September the 25th now on Goal. Sorted. Hold on. So this is it's an update a week later now. Man City boss confirm visa issue has been sorted. Okay. City failed to file a visa application in time. Prolific striker will be available for the return leg. Okay, so yeah, she's available for the return leg because the return leg is in Manchester. So I don't know. The visa issue wasn't why she didn't play the first leg. It wasn't that the UCL won't let her play without a visa. She couldn't travel to France. So him saying that it's sorted for the second leg don't really mean much because the second leg was in Manchester. So this you see how this can be misleading. It's resolved in the sense that she was able to play that game, but not resolved in the sense that she can travel. Yes, it looked like all of the stuff is from referencing the 18th, and the only other thing, is the week later when him say she's available because the issue has been sorted, but I don't know any proof of that because I know me not see her travel left Manchester and gone away, so me don't know. Yeah, when you're playing for a club, you get a work visa, So when she was in France, I'm sure she had to apply for a work visa. Her club had to apply for it to get a work visa. But that doesn't mean you can freely travel around Europe. You'd have to get a different type of visa for that. But it is odd. It's so odd to me that a club can have a player and them don't know if them can travel until the last minute. That's crazy. Long time I've been looking for Taylor Hines for joining the team. Prayers get answered. Yeah, I've been hearing about this player for a while as well. Bless up, positive vibrations. All right, let's go back to it's about a 10-minute question segment. So let's just hear that.
And pose your question to Coach Busby.
Good afternoon, Coach Busby. We know that Kiki Van Zenten, she had a season-ending injury. I just want to know if you've had any conversation with her in regards to her update, regards to an update from her, and what are her prospects looking forward in the future in terms of her re-emergence into the Reggae Girlz fold? Yeah, that's a good question. Look, we're very fortunate. Our high performance coach, strength and agility conditioning coach, she actually works for the Houston Dash, so she sees Kiki every day, and so obviously she provides any updates as they come. But she's back on the field now, I think running. She's still a ways away, but she's making great progress, and she's been fantastic. And so, yeah, it's been good to get those sort of updates. Just more importantly, she's doing well. From a mental perspective as well, and she's working her way back. So yeah, we hope to have her back. If not for the next camp, might be a little bit too soon still, but definitely heading into the new year. So yeah, she's making progress for sure.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Appreciate that. So let's go to Dre. You can go ahead.
Good afternoon, Coach. This is Andre from Dre Anywhere Sports. So my question is, if you guys are hearing me clearly.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. So my question is, with these two friendlies, how important is the result, and what are you looking for from these two games? And also, secondly, with the FSU team, because I follow them here in the state, we had 3 Reggae Girlz starting in the starting 11 in their match yesterday, which I'm
big
very
up, Dre.
optimistic about seeing that chemistry transferred over into the national team. What are your thoughts on that also?
Yeah, well, let me just interject for a second, Coach. Just a clarification, Dre. It's 1 match against France. It's not 2. The 2 matches is against South Africa. You can go ahead, Coach.
Come on, Dre.
Yeah,
Don't make
thanks.
Simon a
I was
correct you,
going to
Dre.
allude to as well. So yeah, thanks for the question, Dre. It's a good question. As far as the FSU player is concerned, like I said, each week, just to kind of give you a background, each week, each member of my staff, as well as myself, we're assigned to look at each departments, whether it be defenders, midfielders, forwards, goalkeepers, and we monitor them and we update it in a sort of database that we have to make running notes on each and every week. So, every single player who is playing college or every single player who's playing overseas, we have a running information about how they are. We watch them, we review them, and that's how we make our decisions. So, yeah, every week we get a chance to watch FSU twice. They're doing extremely well. Obviously, the competitive conference at the end, they've dropped some games recently, but they're all doing extremely well and playing significant minutes and contributing, as you alluded to a team that's looking to compete for a national championship. And yeah, that chemistry is always going to bode well because there's familiarity there. So having taken what they have and sort of embedding that into the group when they eventually come back will be good as well. And yeah, we're looking forward to see what sort of run they go on into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Coach, and Dre had asked an earlier question about the expectation for this game, so you can touch on that.
Yeah, thanks for it as well. The expectations really is for us to, continue to work on our playing model. I think it's important for us to also continue to build on our playing principles so that we can ensure that, we're flexible, in and out of possession. We want to be a team that continues to use and to be known for a good defensive base. So the most important thing is, yes, results are always the main thing at senior international play. But the longer term, the picture is for us to be successful come next time this year when we're in October in our first round of qualifying for the World Cup. I think that's really the main goal is for us to be, to be peaking at that sort of time heading into those qualifiers. So yeah, that's sort of the objectives of this match. So we continue to build on what we're looking to do in a year's time.
Okay, any other questions from members of the media? Please raise your hand and indicate to Coach Busby. In the meantime, Coach, there was a question online in relation to members of staff for the Reggae Girlz. Is there anything you want to touch on that?
Listen, people, listen.
Additions on that element?
Yeah, so the 2 additions we've brought in, as I kind of alluded to, one, our SNC coach, high performance coach, will be Renee Balconi. Renee comes from us from the Houston Dash. I've known Renee for years when she's worked at LSU on staff there, or the women's side with my wife, so I know her very well. And we're really pleased to have her involved with the program. And like I said, she's working in a professional women's environment, so she'll be joining us for this camp. And the other one is a name very familiar to everybody in Jamaica. We always kind of give them the gears every time we're on a call, but Dion Burton is coming on involved to be our one of the assistant coaches as well. And primarily work with our forwards. As you can see, we've got an incredibly talented group and led by one of the best strikers in the world at the moment. So why not have them come in and work with, obviously, a player who's played in the Premiership, knows the league. He's there as well, which is a big bonus for us because it gets Dion to go and see some of the games in person when he can, when he's not coaching with the U21s at West Brom. So we're excited to bring him on board and all his expertise. And of course, he's so excited to be back and giving back to the country that's given him so much as well. So we're excited to have him on staff. Coach Gilbert will be there as well. Andrew Sewell and Sanford Carabin, who I alluded to earlier, rounds out the technical team.
All right, thank you for that. Livingston Scott from the Gleaner, you can proceed. Go ahead.
Yes, Coach, just wanted to know how that agreement came about with Burton and if he will be on the bench with you for this coming game against France.
Yeah, no, listen, obviously a lot of the old boys, I've known Burton from back in the days, and I saw him actually last year, and I hadn't seen him I spoke for over 10 years, but I saw him last year, and we kind of remained in contact since then. And when we were kind of when I was reappointed, we spoke about some things, and then I just asked him. I said, "Hey, listen, one of the things I really want to improve on is in terms of our playing models, is for us to be a little bit better in front of goal. Like I said, one of the things for us as a staff is to ensure that we have one of the best players in the world, and scoring goals is important, but it's not just one people creating goals, creating opportunities. And so, in speaking with him, I asked him if he wanted to be on board, to come on board with the new staff, and yeah, he was excited to come in and be a part of the group. And last month when we were in the UK looking at players, Sanford and I, he accompanied us to a lot of games as well, kind of getting to know some of the players and getting to know some of the players in the pool, which obviously helps a lot with him being in the UK Pleasant currently. So yeah, we're excited to have him on board and excited to have him back, with Jamaica and being on the bench with us against France.
Could you get an idea of, is he qualified coaching wise? Could you get an idea of what his qualification is?
Yeah, he's an A licensed coach. He works at West Brom's U21. He's been on the bench with the first team as well. So he's a UEFA A licensed coach. So he's definitely more than qualified for sure.
All right, thank you very much, Livy. Do we have any more questions from members of the media? Jason, you had your microphone open. Did you have something you wanted to say?
No, Simon. No question. Yeah, I think that's the end of the press conference, basically, there, people. Informative, told us about his coaching staff. Obviously, the big news out of that was Dion Burton joining as a member of the technical staff. He's going to be obviously helping with one thing that the coach just mentioned there towards the end, that something that he diagnosed that could use some work is their efficiency in front of goal. And who better than one of Jamaica's leading marksmen, who is doing very well in England in the youth ranks, coaching, to come over and join and be a part of the squad. Actually watching a Champions League early match here, Galatasaray and Elfsborg, and Elfsborg just made it 3-2, so they're trying to come back in this game. Crazy game. Yeah, but so that was the press conference, people. Now it's time, people, the part that you guys probably wanted to get into more than anything, and that is float. A lot of people been saying this, like, so the guys could use some help in front of goal as well, you know what I mean? Elmeek saying shh. Yeah, so let's get right into it, people. Let's just get the people on the screen, show you guys what's been going on with them in their careers this season, and also just get some background on some of the players that you might not know. Of course, in the squad, we have our people that have been there before. The two goalkeepers have been there, but we still want to go ahead and take a look at what they have been up to this season. So the first one on the list, of course, Rebecca Spencer. obviously at this point, somewhat of an, I know it was just Heroes Day, so happy Heroes Day to all the Jamaicans at yard and abroad from a couple of days back. But yeah, she might just go down as a national hero one day based on her heroics at the World Cup for us. Definitely kept us in all those games in that group stage, allowing us to get through for the first time to the second round, and also had a really good game against Colombia as well. So Rebecca Spencer, definitely, I would say a fan favorite at this point. One of the people that we definitely know that we love and respect. So this is what she's up to now. She's 33 years of age currently. Love to see that Jamaica flag there for the nationality. We love to see it. She's 5'6", so not really the tallest goalkeeper in the women's game, to be honest, but I think her command of her box and her anticipation really helps her out a lot where that is concerned. Hasn't had the greatest start to life in the league this season. You know, Tottenham, year on year, the league is getting better, and I think they are struggling to keep up with some of these teams and how they're getting so drastically improved. But this is what she has done so far. She has started 5 games, and they have only played 5 games so far. So she is the nailed-on starter now. She used to split time with a player. I think she has now left the club. I think she was the goalkeeper for Finland, if I'm not mistaken, but she's no longer around. So Talbert, you know, definitely second string now, where Becky used to split time with the other goalkeeper they used to have. I think Becky is the nailed-on starter now, so that's very good for her in terms of match fitness and stuff. I do think there have been camps before where she has come in and maybe not been playing as much as a goalkeeper would want to be playing. So I think her club situation is a little better this season for the reasons I just gave you. You know, and on one hand, you could look and say, boy, maybe it's not the best that she's not getting challenged at the club level in terms of, you know, for game time. But on the other hand, you know, you just know that if she's fit, she's going to start. And that's what we really want more than anything. So she's played 5 games, had 2 rough outings against Liverpool and Chelsea. The Chelsea one is to be expected, you know, the best team arguably in the world right now, along with Barcelona in the women's game. So, you know, definitely if you get a beating from this Chelsea team, it's not the worst outing in the world. It can happen to the best of them. But yeah, this is what our season looks like. The main things that I'm happy about: 5 games played, 5 starting and playing all the games. That is it. You know, I'm sure she would love to get this down. 13 goals conceded in 5, but as I said, she had 2 really lean performances. If you look at the matches that they played so far, you know, they lost 3-2, but this game she had a very, very bad game, people. I mean, I think she made 2 direct mistakes that led to goals in this game. Because I remember when I looked at this week, because I go through every week and look at players and stuff, and I remember saying, damn, how did she get a 5.5? And I remember when I looked at this particular game, I was like, geez, that's a rough outing for Becky. So yeah, this is what that Liverpool game, one that she would want to forget, I'm sure. But yeah, she had the one error leading to a goal. I think she also, from the highlights, I remember she had another mistake that didn't end up in a goal. But yeah, that contributed to that 5.5. And then Chelsea, you know, this was partly down to just conceding 5 goals, but also it was down to, you know, Becky making a mistake as well in this one. So it's these 2 games, I would say, not really the norm for her this season. But I think with Becky, you know, she's very, very accomplished with her feet. And I think at times she does take risks that, you know, maybe put her in some hot water from time to time. But, you know, as long as she can cut that stuff out of her game, you know, if she doesn't have an error in the game, typically she's a 7 out of 10 or better performer, regardless of conceding goals or not. Because, you know, she has had other games, you know, she got 3-0 from Man United, but this game it could have been 7. Because she had some brilliant saves when I watched the highlights of that game. So Rebecca Spencer, for me, really the number one, and until Sydney can take the game from her. And speaking of Sydney, let me just check the comment section. I'm sure people have some thoughts on Becky. Becky is definitely a loved player for us, you know. Box General, that agree. Becky and anything say float. Nitro say Izzy. Where is my Izzy? Well, Izzy did not make the list, and I think it's partly due to her club career not quite kicking on this season. And she was actually in my list of players that I'm sure on the cusp, he did mention there's about a 60-player pool currently. We know that the Division 1 footballers like Sully Washington, Cameron Simmons, Mimi Van Zanten, they would probably not be in the mix because, he said he wanted to have let them stay with their clubs as they're going into their D1 post seasons and stuff to try to win their titles and whatnot. So that's why we're not seeing any of that contingent over there. And then other than that, I think members of the pool that didn't make it, you can probably look at what's been going on in their club life, and that should give you a clear answer as to why they're not there in this team. Now, there are some players in this list that maybe are in a similar boat to Izzy, but they're there. So I guess that argument can be made, why are they okay but not Izzy? But I do think it's just due to competition for places in where Izzy plays in that midfield. If you look at all those midfielders selected, all of them pretty much getting game time at their club. So you have to acknowledge that fact. All right, so Sydney Snyder, people, much taller goalkeeper, 5'10". As you know, she has great experience with the Reggae Girlz. Of course, she was the starter for a few games in the first World Cup that we played. Or she might have even started all 3 games. I might be wrong on that though. I think there was a starter first and she got the nod. But anyway, experience, been to 2 World Cups, played in one, didn't play in the other. But I think with Sydney, and she's actually being coached right now by our former head coach, Lorne Donaldson at Chicago. But with Sydney, I'm going to show you why it's been a tough road for her. Pretty much ever since she's been in the NWSL out of college. Every team she has played for in this league so far, she has pretty much been behind, one of the better goalkeepers in the league. Prior to coming to Chicago, I forget what team she was at before, but she was also behind a U.S. national goalkeeper. And on this team, Chicago, if you look at their squad, right, if you just look at Chicago Red Stars squad, I'm going to show you guys the goalkeeper list, and you're going to realize maybe that's why she's not getting any game time, because one of the best goalkeepers in world football just happens to be Chicago's goalkeeper, and that is none other than Alyssa Nair, right? So Alyssa Nair is the starting goalkeeper for this team, and I think where I would have to, get on her case is this. If you look at the goalkeeping list, so that they do have a lot on their books. I think it's about 7. A couple of them are, youth level. But right now, Sydney Snyder is pretty much 3rd in this pecking order. Mackenzie Wood, since Nair got hurt a few games ago, has been starting. Sydney Snyder has been her backup. So, Mackenzie Wood, I think U.S. national, she's 24. So Sydney is 1 year senior. But in the pecking order right now, she's clearly in 3rd. Has only played 1 game so far this season. That was in the NWSL Liga MX Summer Cup, which was a new competition played this summer. She got a start and played all game in that. But other than that, she has yet to feature for the Chicago Red Stars. So I am starting, I wouldn't say I'm worrying, but I think Sydney, if I am her agent or I'm a part of her setup and I'm telling her, giving her advice, I would just, want her to find a club that she can get a starting role in. I think that she does have the talent to be a starter. I've always liked the goalkeeper. I think, she has the physical attributes in terms of the height. So she covers a bit more of the goal. Just her standing in the goal is a bit more imposing than even Becky is. I think with her, though, it's confidence. I don't really believe that she has the confidence. Even when you saw her keeping for Jamaica in the World Cup, it was like, she did her job and everything, but you can tell that she's a bit nervous out there, you know what I mean? And I just think she just needs more games and repetitions in these leagues, playing 90 minutes week in, week out. That is my wish for Sydney Snyder, because I do think that there's a quality goalkeeper in there. Definitely, if anything were to happen to Becky, I wouldn't be happy. But at the same time, I think that Sydney is comparable, not comparable, but is competent enough to hold on the space until Becky would return. So Sydney, just want you to be able to feature a bit more for your club. I think that's the main thing with you right now. But I do think that you're a talented keeper. Bless up, Owen. Yeah, the next in line would be I think her name is Brooks. Is Brooks your name? Yeah, I think so. I like the girl that kept for the U20 as well, or not for the U20, but for the senior team. She needs some development for sure because she's still in college. But Morgan, she's one that you can look at for the future as well. Maybe not the largest keeper either, but I just like her command of her box and her communication. I think she's good in that regard. Hope Coach Busby uses Blackwood in the midfield and Taylor Hines at left back. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Taylor Hines listed as both. She can play either left or right back. She's actually a two-footed player, so interested to see how he kind of works out the defense. I know in the last games we played against Brazil, there was no move of Denisha from left back. She was played left back both games, so I don't know if that's just where the coaches in Jamaica just see her, because all of our clubs put her in midfield. You know, attacking left midfielder, left wing, center attacking midfield, supporting striker, everywhere but back. So I don't know. We want to put her at left back, and she don't really play there other than for Jamaica. Mr. E, that's a no-brainer. Taylor will be our left back. Yeah, I'm thinking that as well. You know, I wasn't sure if they would play her left or right, but for me, I would just push Denisha up the pitch. I think that she'll give us much more if she play a more attacking role on that left side, or even in the midfield, or one of the three in midfield if he goes with a 4-3-3. You know what I'm saying? But I think the problem really lies then putting Taylor Hines at left back. We don't really have a registered right back. You know what I mean? So would it be better to just play Taylor at right back and play then at left back? I wouldn't do that, but you know, is that what might happen? I don't know. Yeah, but I would have it set up a certain way. But we'll do a potential 11 before the show done, and you guys can give your takes on that. We're stronger in midfield and attack now. I would agree. Yeah, you add Bonnie to this core, and I would agree with you. The coach want to see additional players. Yeah, he did say that. Need drop a level because she's not playing for club since college. Yeah, that might be it. I mean, they have the new second league started up now, so you know, maybe a loan move to one of those smaller clubs just to get some time. Let the powers that be in the top league see her playing week in, week out. Maybe she get a move to another team that have a better situation. I don't see her displacing Alyssa Nair. I mean, she's one of the best keepers in the world, so it ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? Sydney is young. Yeah, I mean, the youngness going away though. I mean, we're in 2024. She's 25. So that means, you know, next World Cup, she'll be, what, 27 at least? And unless you turn 28 already by then, by the World Cup. So, you know, it's not, you know, look, I know she's a goalkeeper in the women's game. You can keep probably till your, you know, late 30s, 40s, whatever. But, I mean, she needs to be playing games, you know? As far as I know, he's still at Chicago. Yeah, I don't think they have made that coaching change there. He started out rough, but he's moved up the table over the season. I think they're up to 6 now in the table. Hard to get experience in the USA when they have so many USA goalkeepers on their books. Yeah, I mean, they have like 7 keepers. I think 6 of them are US. So, you know, it is what it is. You would pick the U20 goalie over her. Okay, fair enough. I don't think the U20 goalie is better than Sydney, though, to be honest. I don't, personally. Yeah, my dad agrees with you, I had one. He always thought that Sydney Snyder better than Rebecca Spencer. I think the World Cup kind of, you know, lessened him talking about it as much, but he's always said that he rates her more. He rates her more. Bless up, Ty. Blackwood can't defend, easy move. Yeah, yeah, struggling at club. She looks sloppy. Don't know what's going on there. She doesn't look like herself. Blackwood needs to change the position. I agree. Yeah, Alyssa Nair is what, 36 now, I want to say, or 37, something like that. Yeah, nobody, even the most biased person. I mean, Nair is great. And you know, you're saying she's old and up there in age, but brother, that lady fit, you know, man. She look like she can play at least another 5 years, at least. Because she can't even get displaced out of the US team, and they have enough goalkeepers could pick. But she's still the best, you know. All right, so that's the goalkeeping core. We had some names come up, the U20 keeper, and let me know Drew, when you say the U20 keeper, are you talking about the girl who's always the third string with the seniors? Like, is that who you're referring to? I think her name is Brooks. Is Aliyah she name? No, the other girl named Aliyah. Probably not gonna show Brooks, just so you know. Damn, what's she name again? All right, let me see. Jamaica. So I can find her this way because she's been on squads. So matches. So I have to go back to the World Cup though. No, not Gold Cup. All right, so yeah, so let's go to the France Jamaica game lineups. Leah Brooks, there she go. Leah Brooks, yeah, Leah Brooks is good enough. I just don't know what she up to these days. I didn't really look into a third keeper and what's going on with them so much. So I will do some research and forward back with some info. Or if anybody in the chat know anything about what Leah is up to right now, let me know. Yeah, it's Brooks she name. Yeah, Leah Brooks. Yeah, man, she's a wicked shot stopper. Sydney Snyder, wicked shot stopper. Trust me, I rate her still. But Tuffy Rudy says she should stay. Wait it out. The girl old. She'll age out. But the problem is, Tuffy Rudy, they are injured right now, and is the other American girl Lorne playing over Sydney. So it's not even she have to worry about, it's the other one too. Because she's now third string, it look like. Oh, the one from Gold Cup, Aliyah Morgan, she is still in college. I don't know if she's like actually ready to be playing like this type of caliber right now, to be honest with you. I do like her potential for the future though, and it's one we should continue to monitor. But I'm just interested to see what her life looks like after she leave college, right? But yeah, from what I saw, definitely potential there. Definitely. Not getting her height and stuff, but that's the one thing. She's a little bit small for that position, but let's see. 4-2 Galatasaray. Look like they're going to win. Yeah, so Aliyah Morgan, Leah Brooks, those are the ones to watch for the future, people. So we'll keep on looking out. Yeah, she's at Fordham, exactly. Yeah, I was thinking Chantel to right back. And I was going to play Samson at CB. Atkins, I think she's more for the future. I don't think he's gonna throw her into the fire to start. She might get a game, but I don't think she's gonna start like that. Oh, the African name one. Yeah, yo, you're right, The African name one, good too, I hate that I say an African name one, but I can't remember her name. Yeah, bro. Good shout on she, bro. She's good, man. Let me see. What did she play? Gold Cup qualification as well? Yeah, Serena Mensah. Yeah, at Fordham. Yeah. So, to be honest, people, of the two of them, I actually like Serena a little more than Morgan. But I think both of them are ones that we can watch for the future. Serena does look a little more solid, to me. And I look a little more advanced in her development as well. Yeah, Serena Mensah. That's a good shout, positive. I couldn't remember that one. Tuffy, Sydney to move on. It's a waste of talent to play waiting game. Yeah, I'm more on either one side here, Tuffy, because not only does she have to worry about the starter, but there's another girl there in the mix that's younger than her by a year, and she's getting the nod now that Nair is not playing. So that to me is a telltale sign right there. So if I was dealing with her situation, I would encourage to seek other opportunities, All right, so next one, let's look at the Swaby sisters now, people. So Chantel Swaby recently moved from the French league over to the WSL in England at Leicester. But this is a case where maybe the grass ain't always greener. If you look at her stats this season, all we see is one game played in the FA Women's Cup, the League Cup. And she had a brilliant game, 7.3 against Bristol City, playing all 90 minutes. But that was not enough to convince the coach to give her some time in the WSL proper. If you look at last season in Premier League in France, she was starting damn near every game. 16 games played, 15 starts, averaging 81 minutes per game. So yeah, getting minutes all the time in this league, now coming over and not quite able to crack that first team starting lineup or even get game time. In the last game against Everton, which was the most recent game, a 1-0 win, you know, you see the players in front of her. Sophie Howard, the captain, probably going to be hard to displace. So Keys, that would be the girl that I'd be eyeing and saying, okay, this is who we have to get past. You see, she's a Belgian national. She does represent Belgium as well, recently playing in the qualifications and whatnot. So she is a player that she will have to get by if she wants to play. Now, as you can see, she didn't play the first 2 games either. So let's take a look at the first game of the season this season for Leicester. They played Liverpool. You see Taylor there on that left side, who we're going to talk about soon. But in this one, it was Howard and Thibault. So we have to look at her as well. So who is Julie Thibault? She's 26 years of age from France. So she has a French, a Belgian, and the captain kind of in her way. As you can see, this player right here has played the first 2, didn't play against Villa. So the coach is still kind of finding that starting partnership. It looks like the mainstay so far has been Howard, and it's been kind of going between Thibault and Keys. And she hasn't been able to get into the mix. Now, if you look at the Women's League Cup game that she played, I'm curious to see. So Julie Thibault was the one that played center half with her in this game. Or maybe she didn't start this game. Let me see. Where is it? Bristol City. Okay, so this was the game that she played, League Cup. I was curious to see the lineup on this day, who played with her. Okay, so she started with Keys and Thibault came on. So Howard was the one that... Okay, so Howard probably the main one. So Chantel, Keys, Thibault is who you need to start fight out. Hopefully this international window can help you have a good performance against France, because I do believe you'll start and play all the game. You know, is it a case where maybe she could get a chance at left or right back? I don't know. But I would rather her play in her natural position of center back. I think that's her best role personally. But yeah, for me, Chantel, I'm glad she's in this league, but you know, she's gonna have to work really hard to get into this first team. Good height on her, 5'11". Maybe that's something she can use to her advantage. Seems to be the tallest of the set there in defense. So maybe she can get through that way. But Chantel, player that I really rate highly. I even think that she might be a little better than her sister, to be honest. I know her sister kind of gets more recognition for the most part. I know her sister scored in the World Cup as well. But something about Chantel's demeanor, you know, just very calm. I think she's a little bit better on the ball than her sister as well. I think that's why sometimes you see her playing in the right or left back channel, because she can handle that football a little bit better at her feet, I think. So yeah, Chantel, I agree, she's too good to be warming the bench. You know, I'm hoping that, you know, she can kind of find her way at Leicester. I think it was the right type of club in terms of not going for one of the biggest clubs in the league. So I just feel like it's just time for her. You know, she needs to just get used to the system, and I think eventually she'll force her way into that first team. It might take some time, but I do think eventually she can force her way into this first team. I don't believe the players playing over her are to the point where, you know, they're just so much greater than her. She can't get a nod over them at some point. So, yeah, I will say, you know, go for that spot. Go for that Thibault spot, that key spot, the Belgian or the French girl, you know, and become that partner to Howard on that back line. Chantel, that's what I am hoping you are able to accomplish, all right? I'm not really sure how the streaming is going to go. I know that I can't live stream the match because I'll be working at that time. So I'm a bit upset about that. But once I get any knowledge of it, I'll just post in the community tab, or when I go live next, I'll let you guys know, all right? Chantel started most preseason games, so I'm thinking it won't be long before she gets back in the 11. Yeah, I mean, look, maybe those preseason games, because I see they're not really listing them. They're just showing this one Man City game, which they don't have any stats for. But yeah, I think that she has a chance. I don't think it's as bleak an outlook as I think with Snyder. You know, I think she's a lot closer to getting more game time than Snyder is. So I think she just have to put her head down and keep working, and she'll get there. All right, let's take a look now at her big sister, Alison. I thought she moved, so she's still at Milan. Okay, I thought she had moved. All right, so Alison Swaby at Milan. She is started 2 games out of the 4 games that she's played so far. If you look at the matches here on this on the left hand side, started out the season against Como in a loss, and in that first game of the season she started at center back. Second game of the season she started again. Actually, no, she came on in this one for Nadine, I think, or no, Covosto. So she came on and actually played right back in this game. So she's another one that could play right back potentially, but I've never seen her really moved out there for Jamaica. She has played that at the club level quite a bit. I've seen her playing that before, so I know that's a possibility. But yeah, she hasn't really been able to like stake the claim for the first team starting job. So she started at right back in the Milan derby. And then she had a little spell away from the starting lineup and playing period. Like she had some injury issues there, and then she was back most recently against Roma in this matchup. And let's see where she played in this game. So she actually subbed on for Sorelli in the second half in this one late. So she only got about a little bit of time, but 6.9. So she definitely had done some things on the pitch to get up to a 6.9 with such little time. But yeah, that is the situation with Alison Swaby. Again, not starting as much as I would like to, but she did have a few games out with injury. Or actually, she just had a few games out where she didn't even play. I shouldn't even say that she was injured or anything. She just was on the bench and did not enter the field of play in 3 matches in a row. Then recently got some time off the bench. So another one that, when you look at her time last season with the club, I know in the beginning when she first got there, she had some issues, but, played a lot of minutes towards the end of the season. 17 out of 19 games started. So, actually, when you look at what she was doing last year compared to now, it's not really the best in terms of how much time she's getting on the pitch. She's averaging 60 minutes per game, and the team has played 7, and she's only featured in 4 of them. So, again, not the greatest in terms of match fitness and readiness, but she is training at the highest level, and the Italian league is recognized as one of the better leagues in the world as well. So, at a good level, but wish she was playing more regularly. I prefer when both Swabies are on, the chemistry on point. Agree. I think they actually play their best when they partner each other at centre back, to be honest. But I'm wondering if just due to the makeup of the squad, they will have to be broken up and one of them will have to play right back, Maybe they try Alison at right back for once. But, I do prefer Chantel on the ball a little bit more. That's why I kind of like her more at right back, even though she is the taller of the 2 players. Prefer at centre back. Yeah, I do too. I prefer both sisters at centre back, actually. All right, so that's the Swaby sisters, people. That's what they're up to in their club careers. Now, let's go to a player that I think I won't be able to. Actually, since I'm using this, I'll go to Taylor Hines next. Yeah, that was a horrible time. That whole Angel City time was just a waste. Yeah, it was a waste. It was a tough time for her, for sure. All right, so let me go back to Sofa Score. I was gonna do Vian Sampson next, but let me do Alison Hines. Alison Hines, man. I think about the singer to write it. Taylor Hines is a player that we've been hearing about for a few years now. 25 years of age. Have to get this in there. Was an academy graduate of the mighty Arsenal. Then moved over to Liverpool, and that's where she got her first team experience. Actually went to Everton first, and then switched sides on Merseyside and went to Liverpool. So this is what she's been doing this season. In the Super League now, playing every game so far. She has 5 starts in the first 5 games. playing 81 minutes per game, and typically she's usually the captain as well. So they play a back three system with her on the left hand side, so can operate in a back four as a left back and also as a left wing back, even left midfielder as well. But I do think that in terms of defensively, she's a lot more sturdy than a Blackwood. So if it is a back four that the coach decides to play, I'm totally fine with it. Now, based on the personnel, people, we might want to look into a system similar to this that's on the screen, because we do have a couple of players that can feature in that right wing back or left wing back role, and we have, I would say 4 centre backs basically in the system. When you look at Vian Sampson, the Swaby sisters, and Malia Atkins, I think they're all centre backs. So, maybe this would be a better way to kind of utilize who we have picked on this team. So we'll see when we're doing the potential 11 what actually works best with the players. But this is Taylor Hines, 5 starts out of 5. So that we love to see that captain in our team. So we know the leadership qualities there. And yeah, for her to be just 25 years of age and the club captain, clearly there's a high level of professionalism there. So I think that is something that will be brought to the team as well. And she's an exceptionally fit player. So she will give you that bombing up and down that side all day long. I think she's a little bit more attacking than a traditional left back. But I do think that in our setup, she would be able to play a true left back position if need be. But her true superpower might be in a system more similar to what she plays at her club, where she has a little bit more license to go forward. If you see the heat map here, spends most of her time on that flank, and a good distribution between attacking and defending. Not really weighing heavier on one side or the other. So just a really all action. I think one that Jamaican fans are going to really enjoy. And yeah, she's definitely a player that based on her trajectory, she would definitely be starting to be looked at by England. I'm sure of it. So, glad. I think this is a big one to get right here. She's approaching the prime of her career, I would say. So, yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of great memories and good performances out of this player, Taylor Hines, one that I'm very, very excited about. What has happened to Toriana Patterson? Haven't seen her since 2019 World Cup. Good CB. Our house, I'm not sure. That's a name. Let me actually write that name down because I like when the chat give me work, car. It's all a part of it. Man's love to do research. Anyway, so Toriana Patterson. I will do some research on her. What's up with her? Yeah, man, she's an excellent find. I remember hearing her name like maybe 2 years ago. And it's just been probably, I'm sure, I know they had an interview with Shania. I'm sure they'll put out an interview with Taylor as well and Natasha and all the other new players that are having their first time with the team. I'm just interested to hear if they ask her about the whole process and how long it took, because I've been hearing her name so long. And every time I would bring her up when teams are picked, I just hear that everything isn't done yet as far as that's concerned. So I'm just curious to see how long it actually took for her to acquire everything she needed, But that is basically Taylor Hines, as I say, in a top division in the world, playing for Liverpool as their captain. So definitely, I would say, checks every box when it comes to match fitness, level of play, really nothing bad you could say about Taylor Hines. So very, very excited to have her join the Reggae Girlz contingent. Yeah, man. I had one say, it appears the girls who play at high level are always more willing to come play for us than the men. Yeah, I think I had one. What ends up happening sometimes, remember that the Jamaica women's football locally is not quite, well, some would argue that the men's isn't quite there either, but at least there's a reputable or there's a league being played with players. And I think that, whether rightly or wrongly, we think that those players will not be motivated if there's no path to the national team straight from the JPL. And I don't really think that that's what we should be saying to players. I think the minute that Jamaica's women's league gets better and more accomplished, and they start to, you know, create more players, or you know, just more teams have better players on them, maybe we'll see that sometime in the future, where we're having this tug of war of, well, if we keep getting these girls from overseas to come play, we'll never get a chance for the girls from Fraser's Whip and Cavalier and other respective clubs to play as well. I don't think we've quite gotten there yet, and I think that's why it's so different between the men and the women. You know, there isn't a director from Fraser's Whip coming to try to tell the coach that, you know, my girl's better than who you're bringing in. You know, I think that the guy on the men's side, there are directors of football clubs in Jamaica that do actually believe in their minds that their players are better than the players we bring in. You know, whether they're daft or they just don't want to accept reality, that's on them. But that sentiment exists. And I think that's the difference between the men and the women. There is no backlash from any of the directors in Jamaica that run these women's clubs. They don't have a leg to stand on. They can't say that, you know, their left back is better than Taylor Hines. It's just not true. You know, whether you know, whatever left back is better than Greg Lee or Amari Bell for the men, you know, I wouldn't make that argument, but some might make the argument that, you know, not to pick on anyone, but a player that I'm just thinking that has been in Jamaica's team from the Premier League at left back, Ricardo Thomas. You know, they might think in their heart that Ricardo Thomas is better and brings more to the team than Amari Bell or Greg Lee, you know, or John Bell, you know, or whoever we call. But I think the girls don't have that same ammunition to say that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's the captain. Last I heard, she had a child. So I don't know if that's why she's not really been a part of so many teams recently. I think that's what was going on with her. Yeah, okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah. I knew it was family stuff, family related. Yeah. I do. She's number one on my list of not making the team. So I was gonna talk about her. Melissa Johnson, for sure. She's the leading goal scorer in the women's championship this season, actually. Or one of the national leagues. I forget. She's whatever league she's playing in, she's the leading goal scorer. I really do like Wilshire as well. I have a lot of time for Wilshire. If she's in the team, I always put her to start every time. All right, so that's Taylor Hines, people. So that's just a little background on Taylor. Big up yourself, Taylor. If you don't follow her yet on the socials and stuff, give her a follow and give her the support like you would any other representative of the nation. All right, so let me go back to the squad list again. Let me see, who have I not spoken about? Okay, so let's look for Den and what she's been up to. All right, so Denisha Blackwood, if you don't know, people, she plays in Mexico, in Liga MX, female, of course, and she plays for Pumas or UNAM, whichever one you'd like to say. Now, what I love about the Liga MX recently, for the longest while, they did not have any information regarding this league. I mean, they would show you matches, but they still don't have the statistics on it. But basically, if the player scored or had an assist in a game, they're going to show you that she did that, right? So, let me see. So, they don't have that yet. All right, let me go to a different site for this, actually, because there is a place where you can go get all the women's stats, you know. Well, it depends still. Women's statistics, football. Denisha Blackwood. I know AI score is decent. Is it this? Soccer ZZZ? Yeah, this is it. So Soccer ZZ is not bad for the female game. So this is... So let me get this on the screen so you guys can see what Den up to. Big up, Jordan. What go on, bro? We're outside. Yeah, maybe I have of the mind that he just wanted to look at other players. He knows Melissa's quality, has seen her in a camp before. But I'm just a bit surprised because to me, she's probably along with and I say she's the hottest striker besides Bonnie for Jamaica right now, I would say. Hales as well just had a hat trick, but that's kind of new. The goal scoring for her, Melissa has been a bit more consistent. So yeah, I was a bit surprised. She was on my list. It was basically 3 players on my list: Melissa Johnson, the Day's sister, and Izzy. Those were the 3 that I was kind of thinking about, like, where are they? Then is playing really well at Unam. I watch her weekly. She has become a leader in that team, scoring and assisting regularly. Absolutely. Can Blackwood transform to midfield? I believe she can. If he goes with a 4-3-3, she can play the left side of the 3. If she can even play left wing, to be honest. And I wouldn't be upset. All right, so this is, let me get this on screen so you guys can see. So I had to go to a different site to get the info for Denisha, but this is her. 27 years of age now, World Cup veteran now. She has played 15 games in Mexico so far this season, scoring 4 goals. So doing her thing in the goal scoring charts as well. And these are the actual fixtures. So, played 82 minutes, 89 minutes, 70 minutes. So she's started every game so far, and played the majority, 90 minutes of them. So yeah, very, very good to see. The only thing they're not showing me, but because I have watched them play, I know that she has played a couple of roles in the team. Sometimes she plays like left midfield. Sometimes she plays right midfield. Sometimes she plays supporting striker. But yeah, she has pretty much played predominantly in midfield since her time at this club. And as the comment section just said, let me see who said that comment. Yeah, our house music is telling the truth. She has become a leader in the team, a fan favorite as well. Yeah. So yeah, big up to Den. A player that I have beaten on multiple occasions for her performances for Jamaica, but they all stem from her defensive quality. I have no issues with her work rate, no issues with her delivery from set piece and all these things. But yeah, I feel like to see the best of her for the national team, we're going to have to put her off of that back line. The only way I see her playing a deeper role is if we play a back 3 and she plays left wing back. And even then, I would still consider putting her in the attacking trio, or even in the attacking 2 as one of the strikers. I just feel like that is her being an attacking player is something that needs to happen. And if it's a transition to midfield first, I will even accept that. But I just feel like the experiment or the need to put her at left back is finished now that we have different players in the team. So let's go ahead and push her up the park. But as you can see, she's listed as a defender. We saw the coach had 2 games already. She played left back both times. So, we can want whatever we want. But if the coach sees her as a left back, that's what she's going to do and play. All right. So maybe in the press conference, if I get a chance, I can ask that specific question about, if he sees her being able to play anywhere else on the park. I will get the answer on Friday because, who knows? She might very well not play on the back line on Friday. Let's see. But track record concern, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. So let's see. Yeah, man, she'll play midfield for her club now. Melissa has strength and aggressive. She has a lot to contribute to the team. Playing with the A team, I think her performance will improve. Yeah, I think maybe Mr. Yee, some of the players that were in that squad with that group of players didn't get judged fairly because of, the makeup of that team wasn't quite, it was what it was. So yeah, maybe people didn't realize, what kind of player she is, but she was the one who got the goal when we drew that match. So yeah, it's I was okay with how she performed. She seems to be a really good poacher, fox in the box type forward, which sometimes you kind of need those players in your team. But I guess McKenna, who plays a similar type of style to her, and is over there in Spain playing for Madrid CF now. Yeah, maybe she was deemed to be a bit above her in the pecking order, maybe. But and it could very well be that, you know, Natasha Thomas and some of these other new players coming into the team kind of took Johnson's spot for this go around, because, you know, he's kind of seen Johnson, knows what she has, and wants to see some other players, which is a possibility as well. Yeah, I don't see Satara Murray able to play left or right back personally. I think they put her out there once, but to me, she's a centre back all day long. She don't have the legs to play left back or right back. Yeah, Melissa is speedy. For sure. I don't think she's Shania Hales fast, but she's fast. Because Shania Hales is fast. Like, very fast. All right, so that is then people. I think I'm going to work with this site, you know, because them tend to have every woman's stats all over the place, you know. I'll go back to Sofa Score if we get to another player in another league. But for now, let's work with this. All right, so then, all right, so Vian Sampson. That's the other player that we need to look at on the back line. How we're doing for time. All right, so I have to keep moving people. Vian Sampson. So there is Vian. Let's see. So they don't have anything from Vian playing over in Asia. So that is sad. Let me see if I can find it somewhere else, because I want to make sure we let you guys know what she's up to. And I follow her on social, so I know that she... Oh, nice. So Sofa Score actually has the J League on it. Lovely. All right, so Vian Sampson, I'll know them not update our team to where she play for. But I know that she's playing for INAC Kobe in Japan. It is the Wii League, so it is the first league in Japan. And she's doing quite well out there, getting regular game time in the back line. Vian Sampson, currently 28 years of age. Did yeoman's work in the midfield, I thought, in the World Cup. But I do think that her true position and her best position is centre back. Yes, she can do a job in the midfield, but I think moving forward, we need to start to try to put the players, especially as the pool grows and we get more specialized players, we need to start to try to utilize these players in those roles. So let me get this off the screen, since them don't want to follow the J League over here, so or the Wii League as it's called. Let's get this on the screen now. And Vian, some people, you know, were a bit taken aback when she made this move over to Asia, but I think it has been a good move for her. She's been able to, you know, get steady game time, become a fixture in her team. As you can see, started all 6 of the games so far this season, in the just started season over there, and yeah, playing all the minutes of every game so far. You know, no yellows, no reds, nothing crazy going on in our matches, and the performances have been good. I mean, look at that. 7.1, 7.1, 7.2, 6.9 is the lowest so far this season. So all green over 7 scores for the most part, averaging what 7.15 so far in the sample size of the 6 games. So out of all the players, people, Vian, one of the ones that, for me, if you're gonna base this starting lineup on just match fitness and readiness, Vian Sampson for me has to start. So Vian Sampson, love it. Finally, someone covering the Reggae Girlz. Yeah, man, had to. The game coming up Friday, you know, so time I run out for learn the damn team. So I had to put this out today. All right, so the last defender, people, is Malia Atkins. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I tried up until about 10 minutes before starting this video to figure out what Malia Atkins is up to right now as we speak, and I was unable to. So if anybody can tell me what Malia Atkins is up to right now, I would be greatly appreciated, because all I'm able to find is that she's out of South Dakota from 2023, and I don't know what she's doing now. You know, all the articles I found was about her college time or when she was called up to Jamaica in 2022. So I know it's not her first time with our setup, because I know she represented us at the U20 level as well. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like what. She was on the bench for a senior friendly, and I know she played in a couple of the games that we just recently played in the Gold Cup qualifiers. Or maybe she was on the team. I don't even think she got time. But yeah, I am not able to find out. So someone let me know in the comment section, please, because I was almost ashamed of myself that I couldn't find any info on the player, like at all. As I said, she did play in a few. Well, she was called up by Xavier Gilbert for these 2 games, but she never got any game time in them. And that's kind of funny, because if you look at some of the other players who played, Lauren Reed, for example, seemed to be a favorite. Butts wasn't a favorite as well. Even Tiana Burnett. All of these players were kind of favorites under Gilbert in the most recent teams. And none of those people are here. Now, it could be, as he said, some of these are still college right now. I know Tiana Burnett and Reed probably are still in college. Reed should be close to finish though, and Butts should be in college as well. So maybe that's why they're not there. But yeah, Atkins, out of all those players, was the one that didn't get any game time. So I was a bit surprised that she was the one to get going here. And I figured in my research I would find out that she has moved on to this place and is doing this, but I wasn't able to find anything at all. I don't have a group chat just about the girls, Maybe that's something that we should look into creating, you know what I'm saying? Just to share information and different things that the girls are doing, because Malia Atkins, bro, I don't know anything about the player. I don't know what she's doing. All I know is that she went to South Dakota State and she left in 2023. I don't know what she's doing professionally or after school, but clearly she's doing something, because the coach has named her in this team. So, yeah, I just was unable to find any information or updated information on the player, which I know sounds sad, but that is just the truth, people. I looked everywhere that I would have looked for any other player, and I didn't find anything. So, yeah, sad to say, nothing big to report on her. I just can tell you she's 22 years of age, one for the future. Yeah. Natasha Thomas, Ipswich, to see what she made of. If she equal or better than Jody Brown. Yeah, that's the levels of the players important to see, When you say create a girls WhatsApp chat, all right, we'll do. If the need is there for it, we will create it, brother. That way we can kind of have a central place or have discussions about players and stuff. And people can post, highlights and clips that they have or they've compiled, and yeah, we can keep the conversation moving that way. All right, so Malia Atkins, young defender, one for the future. Don't expect her to get much playing time in this trip, to be totally honest, but you never know. There's unlimited subs, so he might decide to. Well, it's official friendly, so I don't know if they cap it at like 7 subs or 8 subs or whatever the case is, but we'll see. All right, so we've gone through all the list of defenders. Now let's get to some players that are brand new. So we have some new midfielders in the mix, and that's Lulu Jarvis and Rihanna Blades. And one of the things that I love about these selections, and I'm gonna just show you guys. So Lulu Jarvis recently moved. Lulu was at Brighton and recently moved to Plymouth Argyle to get more game time. So let me get on the screen. I was on the FA's site because that's where I found the most detailed statistics of the Women's National League. So they have the Women's Super League, the Women's Championship, and then you have the National Leagues below. So Plymouth takes part in I think it's the National League North, I want to say. Can't remember if it's the North or the South, but either way, one thing I noticed when I looked at all the players from Plymouth, one thing that I loved about this list, there's 12 times that there have been appearances this season between cup and league matches. Lulu has appeared in all 12, right? She has started 10 of them. She's subbed down to 2. She has been subbed off in 9 games. So she does not necessarily play every 90 minutes, right? But you know, she's getting a lot of game time, which I like. So this is kind of Lulu's personal stats for the year right there. That's the summary of it. They don't have the total minutes played, which I don't love, but just thankful that I was able to get this in itself. Let me see if I can get a little more from this other site, Lulu Jarvis, because this site really give you some nice details normally. All right, so Lulu. All right, so it look like Women's National League don't make the cut for this lineup here. But Lulu, she's on the thumbnail. I think she's on the bottom left of the thumbnail as one of the players that I highlighted in the pictures. And that was her making her move to Plymouth this off season. And as you can see on the screen, she has made 12 appearances so far this season. Let me look at the difference between the two. So yeah, she has 8 league appearances and 4 League Cup appearances. And her goal did come in the league. So that's nice. She has 7 starts in the league, 3 starts in those cup matches. So Lulu Jarvis, 20 years of age, one for the future and the now, to be honest, because we can use the help in the midfield. Let me see if there's any kind of news. No news to report. Table. This is what her team is doing in the table so far. Yeah, so they are actually in the Southern Division. So in the Southern Division, they are currently in 11th. So they're struggling right now, just 3 points from 8. So they really need to pick up the pace if they want to stay in this division, because as you can see, the 2 relegated teams are 11th and 12th. But that is Plymouth Argyle. And this is just a list of the players. And where's Lulu? There's Lulu player season totals. Yeah, so this right here is just showing she's the number 8. So she's a central midfielder. She can operate deeper in midfield or a box-to-box role. Yeah, I think she can play pretty much all 3 levels of the midfield. I think she's a little bit more attacking than defensive though. So I'd see her more in a box-to-box or like a, you know, central attacking midfield type of role. I do see her as a little bit more of an attacking player. So I would say Lulu Jarvis can just fit in that midfield. You know, we've seen the likes of Atlanta Primus in there, Drew Spence. You know, we will need to just kind of increase the depth in that area. I think we rely heavily on those 2 players. A lot of times they're on the field just dead, and we don't have no sub that we want to use. So, you know, if we can just get some more players in that midfield pool, I think it will really, really benefit Jamaica moving forward. So that's pretty much the take on Lulu Jarvis. Young, exciting prospect. One that I think Reggae Girlz fans should be excited about getting the signature of as well, because we don't know what the future holds moving forward. The next player that is a brand new addition is going to be Rihanna Blades. Now, Rihanna Blades came from the Chelsea school. So she came through the Chelsea Academy, signed a first team contract with them, made a senior team appearance as well in the cup, but recently moved on, trying to seek more regular first team minutes. So let me pull up the team for Burnley. And Burnley also in the Women's National League. I think they are actually in the Northern Division. But let me just show you guys on the screen Rihanna Blades and what she is up to. So Rihanna Blades. So I had the Burnley team pulled up on the FA site as well. So this is the appearances on the season. You know, trying to find Rihanna. Where's Rihanna? Okay, so Rihanna had 9 appearances so far this season. She has 2 goals, 1 yellow card. Let's check her stats. So she only has 3 starts on the season so far, and she's subbed on 6 times. So she hasn't really cracked into that first 11 just yet. But you know, I do think that for her, this move still made a lot of sense because you know, if you look at her history at Chelsea, really and truly the appearances were few and far between. She has been an unused sub 1 time, but every time she's made the team sheet, for the most part, she gets used, whether it's starting or subbing on. See the breakdown. Okay, so 6 appearances in the league and 3 in the league cup or in the cup matches. And she has 2 league goals so far. So that is Rihanna Lauren Blades. I think Rihanna is another player similar to Lulu in terms of profile, where they can play. Both 20 years of age, so you know, early stages of their professional careers. But I think Rihanna can play a little bit more on the wider channels as well. So you know, she can operate in midfield. I think she's a little bit more of an attacking player than Lulu. I'd probably have Lulu more as a box-to-box type player. I think Rihanna is more of like a central attacking midfielder or wide midfielder, a little bit more attacking. I think that would be where I would be looking to use Rihanna for the most part. So Rihanna Blades at Burnley currently, recently left a bigger team trying to get more minutes, and she has accomplished that feat. Now the next step for her is becoming a more regular starter for the club. So just to look at the, you know, we said Lulu was playing pretty much every game for a team that's not doing so well. When you look at Burnley in the Northern Premier Division, they are just outside of that coveted first place that would move them up into, I believe, the Championship would be the next step. So Burnley currently in 4th position in their league. So a little bit more competition for places in this Burnley team, I would say. So I'm not going to hold it against Rihanna so much that she's not playing as much as Lulu. I do think her team is a little bit better and higher quality. So that kind of has to be factored in as well. And they are right there, you know, knocking on the door with Nottingham Forest. Now, interestingly enough, in this league for Nottingham Forest, I want you guys to see who is leading them. And this is kind of going off topic a bit, but if you look at the goal scoring charts for Nottingham Forest, who you see at number 1 there, 11 goals on the season in 12 appearances. That is one and only Melissa Johnson, and she's actually leading the entire league table as well. So yeah, that is quite something. If you look at the league standings in the league, for leading goal scorers, her and Domingo, her teammate, definitely out in front. And she also has 3 assists to go with it. So yeah, Melissa Johnson, not really understanding how she was overlooked here, especially in this kind of form. That's the one that I would say, boy, out of all the players, her and I would say Malika Days, those were the 2 that I was very, very surprised not to see back in the team for this go round. Let's see, Malika Days. So Malika is over at, is she at Aalborg still? Not really sure where Malika playing right now, you know. I know she was at Saint Etienne at one point, but they have her listed at Aalborg on this site, but I'm not sure if she's still there or not. So I'm not seeing any stats for her this season, so maybe that's a part of the reason why we haven't seen Malika on the team. Anybody can let me know if I'm just overlooking where this young lady is playing. Yeah, so I'm just getting stats from last year when she was at Aalborg. And nothing since the Chile Jamaica friendly. So I don't know. Not sure. All right, so that is the talk on Rihanna and Lulu. So 2 great additions, 20 years of age. Love it. We love to see it. We love to see it, people. The younger, the better. And these are players of quality. They came from WSL establishments and academies. And they might not be there now, but definitely I wouldn't be surprised if they're back in the WSL in the future. All right, so Jade Bailey, she's currently 28 years of age. She's listed as a midfielder / defender. She's now with Sheffield United Women in the Women's Championship. And one thing that I love about this move for Jade, it's been a few years now that we haven't seen her getting consistent games. Even last year, she got to London City, where we had a few players with her, and she only had 1 appearance with them. But now, since this season has started, totally different things going on for Jade. So let me get this on the screen so you guys can see what Jade is up to. I think Jade should be the starter in the number 6 position, personally. But, you know, I'm not the coach, so we'll see what he thinks as well. But for me, Jade should be out there. So here she is. All right, so this is Jade Bailey's profile. As I said, 28 years of age. She's a midfielder. Can play defense as well, but I think midfield is her true, you know, best position. Now, this is all the matches played so far this season. So as you can see, she started out the year on the bench, the first 2 games. So she came on late against Newcastle, and then, you know, a little bit earlier against Southampton. And then by game 3, the coach had enough and said, okay, you're going to start. So she started game 3, played 63 minutes, started game 4, played 80 minutes, and then she played the entire 90 in their most recent game. So 3 straight starts on the bounce for her. You know, the team not faring the best. 1 win and 4 losses so far this season. But again, the selfish side of me is just saying Jade Bailey getting regular minutes in the championship, 2nd tier in England. I'll take it all day long, because when you compare what this season looks like to more recent seasons, I think you'll realize that, you know, it has not really been the best run for Jade lately. And I think that's a part of the reason why we have seen her so intermittently with the Reggae Girlz since the first time we got to see her play for us. She just hasn't been able to hold down regular game time at club level, whether injury, whether just situations with whatever club she's at. But I think now she seems to be settled in. Obviously, Sheffield United wanted the player. They went and got her. And based on how they're using her, 3 starts in 5 and the last 3 starting, I think that this will be more to come for her this season. So Jade, continue to stay fit, my girl. You're definitely a player I think is going to help Jamaica in the long run and the short term. So, yeah, hopefully you're in for just a nice 4, 5, 6 year run of health and able to represent and contribute for Jamaica, because I do think that you are a necessary piece that we need. All right. So Jade Bailey, very, very glad to see Jade Bailey back. Absolutely. Absolutely. You think the twin is in Sweden? Yeah, Alberg is a Swedish side, but when I put in her information, I'm not getting any for this season. So I don't know if she's still there and just not playing or what the case is. Because when I put in Malika information, as you guys can see, I think, no, I took it off the screen here. Let me put this back so you see what I saw. So this is Malika Days. So yeah, it's not listing her with any club. That's what I'm worried about, right? And then when you look at the history, this is all her career so far. 13 games last year for Alberg, but nothing for the 24-25 season. So, you know, and even the profile picture, usually they would have had 24-25 with the club. They don't have one for her. So another player that I need to check on Toriana Patterson. Malika Days, what is she up to? And also, she's in the team, but I still need to figure out, like, what is Malia Atkins doing professionally? Because I know she's not in school anymore. So those are the 3 things I need to figure out. I guess it could be. It could be, but that would be a strange one still. It could be, but I mean, I would just be guessing. I didn't really ask, if any players declined when I spoke to someone about the team. To my knowledge, yes. To my knowledge, yes. I mean, this is a sanctioned FIFA window, and it's a sanctioned FIFA friendly. So I don't believe it's a case like when we played what them name? Catalonia, where you could just use anybody because it wasn't a FIFA game. I don't believe that those rules are in place, unless we spoke to France and their FA said it's okay to play whoever we want. But I don't think that was the case. So I'm going to assume that, I don't have proof, but I'm going to assume that all the girls selected have their paperwork sorted already, and there's no issues with that. All right, so who have I not spoken about? So most of the other players, people, we're just going to go through a little faster because obviously we know some of these players are ready. So one of them is Atlanta Primus. She's back into the mix. I think she's a player that gets a lot of beating from some of the Jamaica fans. I see her use in the team. I think she's just that worker bee that's going to put in any work you ask her to put in. She's 27 years old now. She's a player that keeps bouncing from club to club every season, but every club she go to, she seems to play. Right now she's in the championship with Charlton Athletic, and so far this season, she has played pretty much since she's gotten there. She has played every game, not starting every game. She subbed down the first two, and she started and played 90 minutes, subbed down the third that she played, and then started the last two games so far. So, started about half the game since she's been to the club, but has participated in every game so far. So that is a good look. She's coming in playing some matches, so that is good. No goals on the season just yet, but she has been playing a more kind of reserved role in the midfield. So she does play a box-to-box style. I think that's her best position, and I would like to see her playing that role for Jamaica as well. I think sometimes we use her a bit more attacking than I think we should, because I don't really see her as a CAM. I see her much more as a number 8 style midfielder, because she loves to help out and track back and everything. So I think, her defensive side is something that she can lean on a bit more. So I like her as a number 8. I think she could even play a double pivot type of role with the likes of a Bailey. And, I think that would then free up Drew Spence, because I do think sometimes we use Drew Spence too deep in the formation. I think she needs to be closer to the attacking side of things. So, I would kind of flip the way we've been playing Primus and Spence personally. But that's just my personal take on the players. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but that's how I've always looked at it. I think that this player, Primus, can play a little bit deeper in the formation, and then we should play Spence a little higher in the formation. That's what I would say. Sade is a baller. I've asked why she hasn't been on so many teams in the past, but she's now getting a chance again, which I don't know how she wasn't used for that Gold Cup squad. Maybe she was one of the ones that didn't say she wouldn't play, because I know she has a history with those other girls as well. But if she was available and not picked, that's something that needs to be looked into. I never understood that. All right, so since somebody brought her up, I will go ahead and go to her next, and that is, I won't even try to say her full first name. Sade Adamo Lekun. So Olu follow Sade Adamo Lekun, or Sade Adamo Lekun. That is, she has been doing bits since she's gotten over to Scotland and playing for Hearts. This is what she's been up to this season. 12 fixtures played, 8 goals scored on the season. So really picking up where she left off last year, and that is in the League Cup and the league. So 7 in the league, 1 in the League Cup. One thing to note though, she has started pretty much every game so far this season, which is what we have been looking at for most of the players, just to see how much minutes they're playing. I think she has had 1 substitute appearance in the league, and that was in her loss to Glasgow City. But yeah, every other appearance so far this season. Okay, so no, she has not started every game this season. What am I saying? Okay, so 5 starts out of 9 in the league, and 1 start out of the 1 appearance in the League Cup. So, okay, so she hasn't started every game, but look at the season so far. Started off with a cracker, 2 goals, and an assist, another brace, 2 assists in the most recent fixture against Montrose. So, Sade is a player I think can play multiple roles up front. I think she can play as a striker. I think she can play wide as a winger as well. But I do think that while she's listed as a midfielder, I would be looking to utilize her as a forward. I do think that is her best place to play. So if we're playing a winger system, she can occupy one of those spots. And if we're playing a 2-striker system, she definitely would be one of those 2 strikers as well. So interested to see what they think. She's 23 years of age now. We have seen her, when she was young at USC. That's when we used to see her for Jamaica for the most part. But now she's in the professional ranks and doing well over there in Scotland. So, yeah, going to continue to track her progress. But so far, so good. 7 league goals already in 11 appearances. So, yeah, definitely one of the more unformed players. People might argue it's the Scottish League. It's not the highest level. At the end of the day, I'm not going to put too much stock in that. There are some other good teams in this league as well. And it is a fully professional league. So, she's doing her thing, people. You have to give her credit. So, 8 goals, 3 assists in 12. Very, very good returns for Sade. And she's one that I think would be, knocking down the coach's door and saying, okay, I think I should be starting. So that is Sade's information there. I just realized I never put it on screen, so let me just do that so you guys can see what I saw. So this is her summary of the season so far. As you can see, 11 games in the league, 1 in the League Cup, and they give you the breakdown of the starts and all that good stuff, and the minutes as well, which is nice. So she's doing her thing, people. 7 goals, 3 assists in the league and 1 goal in the cup. So very, very good start to life and the season in Scotland at Hearts for Sade Adamalaken. So excellent work there. Glad to see her back in the fold. Think it's a long overdue thing. I even thought that she could have been somebody that could have gone to the World Cup as well, but for whatever reason she was kind of on the periphery. Maybe it wasn't Lorne's favorite player or something. But yeah, I think she has gotten a raw deal, because I think of all those players that we were using in college back in like those original World Cup teams and those other teams leading up to the last World Cup, she's kind of been one that's just been forgotten. And I don't think that it's been warranted based on what she's been able to do professionally. So yeah, very, very glad to see her come in now. She can play anywhere on the front 3, wide, false 9, main striker, supporting striker. I think she's just an overall attacker. You know what I'm saying? It might be Sade, not sure. I'm just not going to try to say the full name. I'll just say Sade or Sade, whichever one you prefer. Who is at Rhodes in France? Who was I talking about last? The twin? Our host says Sade must be our number 9. Okay. Agree about Drew. All right. Sade, my bad. Fast 9 is her position. Her range of passing is exceptional. Yeah, I do think that while I like her size to be a number 9, I think she just has more in her game than just being a number 9. That's why I like her in a withdrawn attacking role, whether it's right, left, or behind the striker, or accompanying another striker. Even though she have the size, I think she have more to her game than just finishing, even though she's a good finisher as well. But yeah, I think she's a player that, for whatever reason, the fans don't really talk about her much, but I think she's one to watch for sure, especially in this window. All right, Sade Adamalaken. So big up, Sade. Keep doing your thing, and we will be following and tracking. All right. Let me see. Who else did I not talk about? All right, so we're talking about Atlanta, Jade. So we haven't really talked about Drew Spence yet. Everybody would know this baller. She's probably, I would say, to some, best player in the team. Drew Spence, at least for the performances that she gives us on the team. This is what she's done so far. So she has been getting regular minutes at Tottenham in the league, which is good. She had some minutes in the WSL Cup as well. She has 1 goal in her minutes so far. These are the 5 matches she played. She only had 1 off the bench, which was against Charlton in the cup. All the other games she has started. So she has started all her league matches. And this is the breakdown of the minutes. So basically played 590 minutes. I think the second league match this season, she did come off in the 77th minute, and she had a sub appearance in the League Cup. So great to see. You know, she's now pretty much a staple in the starting lineup for Tottenham. Does operate for Tottenham in kind of a deeper midfield role sometimes, and then other times she plays in behind the striker. So she has some flexibility as far as where she plays. And I think I would love to see, with the addition of some of these midfielders that we have now, and the ability to maybe slide Danisha into midfield, I would love to see Drew Spence a little bit more freed to be more involved in the attack, because I think our range shooting, our final pass, is something that we can really utilize if we have her closer to the goal. So Drew Spence, hopefully we'll get a chance to see in a more advanced role this go around and this camp. All right. She's 32 years of age now, so we need to continue to monitor her fitness. Hopefully she can stay fit for the entire season, and, you know, be around for us whenever we need her, because I do think that moving forward, she's somebody that the Reggae Girlz fans would want to see in all the camps moving forward. So Drew Spence, keep up the good work, baller. And yeah, man, we will be watching as always. So that's Drew, doing well so far this season. All right, now let's move on to another player that I had pulled up in my FA searches I was doing. So this is Natasha Thomas now of Ipswich. Now, one thing to know about Natasha Thomas, she is the all-time leading appearance maker for the women team at Ipswich, and also the all-time leading goal scorer at Ipswich. Now, this season so far, she has made 10 appearances, but only has the 1 goal so far for the season. So not really very prolific yet in this season right now, but she has a lot of seasons in the past where she was very prolific. Started 7 of her 10 appearances, subbed on 3 times. She has been subbed off 3 times as well. Let me see if I can find something else on her, because I don't give you much there, but I think there's another one. I think this is the site I've been looking for since morning and finally found it now. Natasha Thomas. Yeah, so they don't quite have the National League there. All right, cool. That's okay. So this is Ipswich Town, entire team. And like I said, excuse me, Natasha Thomas, 10 appearances. So she's playing all the games, not really getting the goals like one time. She can operate as a striker, also in in a 2-striker system. Can also play a little bit behind the striker as well. Can play wide areas as well, but really and truly, I think she's a little bit better through the middle. But she has a skill set that can be utilized by Jamaica. I think with her, it's just gonna be about, you know, the some of these positions up here are it's beginning to be a very competitive area of the park for Jamaica. So we really just have to monitor and see you know, where she really fits in the overall scheme of things. But, you know, with Melissa Johnson-Bonishaw not in this squad, you'd like to think that they're 2 of the bigger goal-scoring threats that Jamaica could possess. And then also with Shania Hales in this team, you know, there's a lot to really look at. So Natasha Thomas, you know, there's a lot of competition for the area she's playing, but I do like the fact that she's getting a chance and we can see what she has to offer. She's 28 years of age now, so approaching the prime of her career. You know, maybe the profile of playing internationally can get her a move away. I know she's an Ipswich legend, so maybe she'll just want to stay and see if she can get Ipswich to move up the rankings. Right now in the league they're in, Ipswich is in the Southern Division, so right now Ipswich is right there in 3rd place. So, and they have only played 7, so they have 2 games in hand. So if they win both of those, they'll go right to the top of the table, which would then put them in line to get promoted to the championship. So, you know, I'm sure she would love to move Ipswich after being there for so long. I think she's been there since like 2015. You know, since she was about 19 years of age. So yeah, if she can move them up the ranks, they've been coming through the divisions. Now they're in the National League. If they can move one more step up now into the WSL championship, then I would think that she'd really go down as a club legend, staying with them all through the divisions all the way up. So Natasha Thomas, one to look out for moving in this window. We don't really know much about her yet. I've yet to really see her play a game, to be honest with you guys. So I'm gonna do some more research and try to find some clips. But in the meantime, people, let's look out for Natasha Thomas. Very good professional. She is also very well respected in her town. She does a lot of charity work and stuff. So one thing I'm noticing that a lot of these girls that they're getting are high character players. So that is another good thing to note. Some people might not think about those things when they're compiling a squad. Them just want the best talent. But a lot of these girls, when you read up articles on them, a lot of positive things being said about them off the field as well. So yeah, that's one thing that I like about some of these selections too when I did my research. All right, so Paige Bailey-Gale, a player that, at this point is kind of, a part of the core. Maybe not in playing time every time when she gets called, but definitely somebody that I think, has been making these teams quite regularly at this point, and that is Paige Bailey-Gale. She is now at Crystal. No, where is she? She's at SC Sand. So it looks like she has moved on to Germany. Okay, wonderful. So I know she was at Newcastle last season. And she's in the second division now in Germany. And she's actually getting a lot of game time over there, which is lovely. She has played 9 matches, only 2 starts, but she has been used. She has been used in all 8 fixtures so far in the league, which is good. And she has played in the Pokal as well, which is the cup competition over there. And she was subbed on in that one, which is nice. All right, so no goals or assists yet with our new club, and yet to really nail down a starting place. But like the fact that she's challenging herself, she's still only 22 years of age, so she has a lot ahead of her in football. So I think maybe she might struggle to get the start just based on, what she's doing in our league currently. But familiarity could help her as well if he wants to go with a more familiar lineup that might have better, continuity with each other and camaraderie with each other and understand each other game. Maybe she gets a chance to start in that regard. But I think based on form and everything, I probably wouldn't start her based on some of the other players that are available in the window. But Paige Bailey-Gale, 22 years of age, gonna keep tracking you. You're in the second division now in Germany. Let's see how the season continues to progress for you. If you can fight your way into that starting lineup, it looks like let's see, subbed in. Okay, so she started this game. And she started this game. So when she first moved and then 3 games ago. All right, so see if you can get some more starts as you go through the season page, and definitely start to get on the goal scoring sheet as well. I know she always plays wide for us, but when she moved to Newcastle, they made her out and out number 9, and she actually looked more comfortable inside. So I'm curious to see how Hubert Busby still sees her, because last time we played, she played wide again. But I've never really loved her in that role. She doesn't look so comfortable out wide. It looks like even like maybe her body type changed a bit. She's a bit bigger now. So I don't know if the central areas might suit her game a bit more. You know what I mean? Respect. Some nice Reggae Girlz in this camp. I would hope so. You know what I mean? Okay, thanks, Romain. So the twin is in France. All right. So Malika there, Rhodes. I will look it up. All right, how are we doing on time? All right, so we're 2 hours and 15 in. I wanted to do 2, but we have a few more players to talk about. So let me just continue. All right, so we have Kayla McKenna. Now, Kayla, we know, made a move. She's still in Spain, but she made a move from her club, Villarreal, and now she's representing the other club in Spain, in Madrid, and that's Madrid CCF. So not to be mistaken with Real Madrid, right? So she has 6 games played in the young season over there. She has made 4 starts and has been subbed on twice. She does have a goal as well. So let's just look at since the season has started. She started pretty much every game. She started the first 3, and then she played. She came off the bench in the 4th and the 6th game. She does have her lone goal in the opening week of the season, so she's on a bit of a dry spell as far as goals are concerned, and was very surprised that they didn't give her any game at all in the Madrid derby that they just played the other day, where they lost 1-0 to Real Madrid. So not the best start to life for her team, and also not for her personally in terms of goals and whatnot. But this is one of the best leagues in the world, and Madrid CCF, or Madrid CFF, I should say, is not one of the powerhouses. You know what I mean? So I think Villarreal, it was the same thing. I think she did really well last year to get the goal tally she got in a team that struggled most of the season at Villarreal. And I think she's going to have the same kind of things to worry about this season. Most of the games they play, they'll probably be the underdog. But, you know, maybe that's good practice for when Jamaica plays some of these big teams. You know, she knows how to play in a game where perhaps you're not going to get much of the ball. Just keep working hard, and if a chance does fall, she does have a clinical nature to her that I do like. I think it's another player that doesn't really get that much love from the Jamaican fan base, but one that I think people should recognize and respect, because she has been playing overseas now for years, and every year she tends to get game time and play for whatever club she ends up at. So just very consistent. Also, extremely solid personality off the field. I know she's very, very devoted in her faith, so that's something that she walks with a lot as well. So Kayla McKenna, formerly, of course, Kayla McCoy, but recently married. So Kayla McKenna now is pretty much what she is going by. So that if you're a bit confused as to who this Kayla is, it's the same one. She just goes by McKenna now. All right. Is what first division? Yeah, this is the top league. So this is Real Madrid, Barcelona. Yeah, man. See them play Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, give them 8-1. You see? So yeah, this is the top league. This is the top league. Women's Spanish league. Yeah, it would say 2 if it wasn't. Or I forget what they call the second one, Segunda or whatever. But yeah, it would have said League 2. Oh, you guys not. Yo, it wouldn't be a show if Duke never say a comment that have nothing to do with football at some point. So there it is, people. Resident comedian, you know. Yeah, but this is what I was looking at just now. Just the season so far, the fixtures. So this is her team right here, Madrid CFF, and this will show you how much minutes she play in the game, whether she was subbed on or off, and all those things. And I was just surprised that the most recent game against Real Madrid, she was an unused sub. So that was a bit surprising to me. But that is Kayla McKenna there, people. So let's move right along, because I'm really running out of time. I need to go get my daughter from school. All right, now let's look at someone that everyone, I'm sure, been waiting for me to talk about, and that is Jody Brown. Recently made her move to Europe, so she's over there playing with Benfica. And let's see what her season has looked like so far in terms of actual playing time. All right, people. So this is Jody Brown's matches so far this season. So let's just pull up all of our matches. All right. So in the women's league, she has played 3 matches. She has been subbed on 3 times, right? And then if you look at all of the fixtures so far, she has had some Champions League fixtures where she didn't get a chance to play, and she has had one other fixture in the league where she didn't get any time at all. So, you know, early days for her. You know, she really recently got there, I think, in September. So now that everything is sorted out for her to play, you know, she didn't get a chance to play in this Champions League. in the 2 games they had with Hammarby, which, you know, they were indeed knocked out of the Champions League. They didn't qualify. So now they can focus on the league, but she has gotten some game time, got 45 minutes here, coming on at halftime here, and got 17 and 35 respectively. So Jodie not really getting all the game time and minutes that you would love right away, but I think that she will work her way into much more game time as the season progresses. I really was hoping that they could have made it to that damn Champions League. That would have just given more chance for her to get game time, whether in that or, you know, with those games in the week, maybe she would get more time on the weekend in the league. So yeah, just wish they would have more games to play so she have more chances, you know, but so be it. They didn't quite get there. But it is nice to see that, you know, as soon as she got there in the league, she got game time right away. So that is good. You know, didn't play against the big team Sporting, which is another big rival for them over there, and didn't get a chance in the Champions League, but good to see her getting game time in the league. Otherwise, just want to see that gradually increase. But yeah, very happy. She has a market value now of 50K. So hopefully she can improve that as well. All right. So Jodie Brown, 22 years of age. Happy that you have made your move over. So we're going to continue to track your progress. Don't know if you're playing enough right this second to start in this team. But yeah, we will do that as the last thing before we head out for the day. All right. So Shania Hales, people. Shania Hales now. It's another player that has history in the top division in England, but currently is in the championship. She is now, I think she's about 23 years of age right now. Actually thought she was older than this, you know, but still very young. And this is what she has done so far in the championship this season. Among other competitions. Only 6 games so far. She has started all 6, and she has a good record return so far. A goal contribution per game, 5 goals, 1 assist. So I would say definitely of the players in this squad, she's probably one of the hottest, right? Averaging just under a goal a game. And if you look her most recent performance against Charlton Atlanta Primus' team, she was able to bag a hat-trick there. So yeah, as I said, Shania, one that I would definitely be looking to get a lot of minutes, potentially start. She can play straight through the middle, also can play left or right in the formation as well. So let's see how she is deployed by Mr. Busby, but one that I think definitely should be featuring heavily in this game just due to the fact that she's on such good form currently with her club Newcastle. So that is my take on Shania Hales. Extremely excited. I know she has been a part of the setup before, but I do think now this time around she's really and truly ready for the rigors of this type of competition. So interested to see how she plays against the likes of France. Now, next on the list, we have veteran of the squad, Tiffany Cameron. She is 33 years of age. She was able to renew and secure another contract with Real Betis in the off season. So she's there for another season. And this is what she's been up to so far since the start of the year. So they have played 5 fixtures. She has been a sub 5 times, so unable to get a start yet in the league. And Tiffany Cameron typically is used as a striker by Real Betis, so either a lone striker or one of 2 strikers in the system, whatever they go with. So Tiffany Cameron, as you know, is a utility player for Jamaica. We see her on the right side, we see her at right back. I think with the makeup of the team, she's probably going to be another utility player again, because we have plenty of options in the forward attacking areas. You know, who knows though? Maybe we can see her play on that right-hand side. I do think that the Days twin is probably who we'll see playing one of those flanks over Tiffany, and Tiffany will probably be used as a right back again, if I had to guess. All right. She may not start, but let's see. Let's see if she gets some time actually in a role that she kind of enjoys much more at club level. Tiffany Cameron, long-standing member of the team, and one that we'll always have utmost respect for. All right. Yes, there are some new Reggae Girls to smile at, and they are nice, very nice girls. That is true. 3 of 6 is still good. Yeah, that is good. That is good. Oh, you're talking about Jodie. Yeah. I was talking about on the pitch, boss. We say anyway, the girls them there. Yeah, man, we need for support, man. Things should be a good option to partner to assist Bonnie up top. Yeah, I think if we go with any kind of 2 striker system, what I like about some of these additions in the forward line, they are all good foils for Bunny. We're talking about a Sade, we're talking about a Shania, we're talking about Natasha Thomas, based on how I see her profile as well. They're all good link-ups with Bunny, you know. Tiffany is like the female Greg Lee. Yeah, that's a decent comparison because Greg Lee plays more attacking for his club sometimes too, and we just see him as a defender. So yeah, that's a decent comparison. I'm trying to think, is there another utility type player for job? I would say, oh no, Latte Body wouldn't really make sense. Him don't attack at all. Him don't play attacking at all. Yeah. All right, next player on the docket. So big up Tiffany. Okay, so Davia Richards, that would be the next player. Don't know if Davia are going to have anything on this site because I know she's still at Fraser's Whip. But one thing I will say about Davia, she was overseas at college, didn't work out for her, so she had to, you know, seek some other opportunities. That in turn gave her a chance to play in the CONCACAF Women's Cup, which we saw her play 3 games with Fraser's Whip, played all 90 in all 3, and scored the lone goal for Fraser's Whip in the competition. I do have news though. Not gonna tell you where yet, but I do know that she is more than likely gonna be back in the States. Hopefully as soon as January. At another school. And of course, when that becomes official, I will let you guys know. I happen to know a little bit more about that situation because I know the potential coach that she's going to be playing for. But yeah, due to it not being set in stone just yet, I will not bring up anything more than saying, you know, look out for Davia and her next move. She will be back in the States at a decent program, playing for a very good coach, one that I know personally. So, you know, very glad that can happen. I don't believe that she will get the most out of herself if she stays at Fraser's Whip for any extended period of time. I think she has the potential to ply her trade overseas one day. And, you know, those steps need to begin early. So I hope that everything goes through and she can get back overseas in January because I do see some good potential for the player. One thing I do want to see moving forward, you know, what position is her position? I see her used in midfield sometimes. I see her played wide. I see her playing striker a long time ago. She has since kind of moved more to midfield, but let's see what she ends up becoming towards the end of things, right? Now, this is Michaela Days, 25 years old. And she currently is at Rhodes. So yeah, so this is the twin. Yeah, I know where the twin was. So Rhodes now, it's gonna maybe be a little hard to get the info on her. Okay, I know last season she played 22 times and scored 5 goals, but I'm not seeing anything for this season though. And are we sure that she's still there? Because 24-25, we're not get nothing, brother. No kind of stats for this season. Weird. All right, what about if I try somewhere else? Hold on. I try one other place, people. This, sometimes this site might give me a little more. Michaela is. Yeah, this not tell me nothing. Yeah, so I need confirmation that she's still at this club Rhodes, you know, because it's not showing her anything that she did with them this year. So that's a bit strange. Women's World Cup. Oh, she played for Canada. So like Tiffany, she's 25 now. Wow, time will fly. Yeah, so Michaela, them telling me in the chat you're at Rhodes, but I'm not seeing any stats for you, so I'm not sure. That's a better one. Female Bobby Reed. Yeah, that's a little bit better than the Greg Lee one. I agree. Because really, she can do everything on the field to rat it. All right, so Michaela, I forgot to do some more digging because me not see nothing going for you, you know. I know say you play football or else this man wouldn't put you in the team. So I will do some more research. Now, we are playing some opponents, people. So before I show you guys what I came up with a starting 11, I am going to show you guys what I think the team can look like. All right, but before we do that, that's the last thing I'm going to do is just show you guys potential 11. And this is just me trying to come up with an 11. I don't know how accurate it's going to be on the day, but just some thoughts and some ways I think we could do it. But before I do that, let me just show you guys the names that we're going to face on Friday. So this was the squad selected. All right. Now they do play 2 games this window. I think after us, I'm not sure who they face. I'm not sure what that logo is, but I know they have another game after our game. But these names you should be familiar with. I mean, most of these names were World Cup names. The Cascarino sisters are there. Les Summer still doing her thing. Diani is there. Georo, Sandy Baltimore been playing really well this season. Dali as well. Karashui. Yeah, so most of these names you should know if you follow female football at all. Wendy Renard is there. So they still have some of their, veteran players as well. And they're bringing through some new ones this time around. So no kind of easing up as far as these players. This is definitely the frontline France team. So yeah, don't expect any kind of easing up. Of course, Brazil played us the other day and they were quite upset with their draw in the World Cup, and they definitely played as if they were upset and put it on us in those friendly fixtures. So I think I can expect much of the same from this France team. They will have that taste in their mouth that they felt like they should have done more against us in the World Cup when we played them. So I think they'll want to put that right. So we need to definitely be prepared for them to come out all guns blazing. You know what I mean? Yeah, only Katoto I don't see playing. And Katoto has been kind of going through some injury stuff. So that probably makes sense there. All right. So before I leave you guys, I just want to show you guys on the screen. If we decided to go with a 4-3-3, this is what I would like to see. I think this is something that I could live with. And let me know what you guys think about this. All right. So this is what I would start if I was coaching the team. I'm a big YouTube coach, so I have my YouTube Pro license at this point. But yeah, I would go with a 4-3-3 system, or it could also be like a 4-2 or a 4-5-1, to be honest. But I do want Hales to play a little bit more attacking. But this is what I would go with. These are the names I would go with. Spencer in goal. The Swaby sisters are on the back line. Actually, I want to tweak this. So I would actually put Allison out wide. Keep Chantel central. And I wouldn't start Tiffany at right back. So this is what I was thinking I was going to do last night. But after some more research this morning, I meant to change this. So Samson finally get a role in the back line. And the reason why I would do it like this is, I'm all about the in possession, out of possession, because that's basically how football operates now. So out of possession, this is how I would want it to look. Right? Something like this. These players there. And you have your 3 attackers, right? And then when we have possession, I really want it to look more like this. So everybody can kind of push a little more. I want Jade to kind of still stay seated. Chantel one side, Samson one side, Swaby one side. And I want Hines to push up. Right? And basically, it kind of becomes more like a... Actually, I would have them like this. this become, I think Primus, I want her to be more deep. So they would kind of create another 3 here, right? Then you have Spence kind of going a little more attacking. And so in possession, I want it to look more like this. And out of possession, I want it to look more like how I had it at first, where it's a true 4-3-3 or 4-5-1 type of system, right? So Jade at the base, Primus one side, Spence one side, and then you have your other players making up the rest of the team. So what do you guys think about this lineup right here, people? I try to have a mix of players who have played with us before, players on form, players getting the most minutes. I try to kind of look at all the different metrics as to who I would play. And that's kind of why I went for this. Now, it could easily be where, you know, Hales coming into this setup is the most, probably I would say, prolific player. And when you factor in the level she's playing and what she's producing. So if Hales was to start up front and we went with the likes of where is she? The likes of Sade, I would have no problems with that either. And you know, if this is the option, they can easily interchange whenever. You know, so if you want to say Sade through the middle for a time, Shania can switch and come wide. Then you also have the likes of course, Jody Brown, Paige Bailey Gale, Natasha Thomas. You have the Days twin as well, who could play wide. So there's a lot of different ways it could look. You know, if you want to stay with Blackwood in the defense, which I don't know why you would, you could play Hines at right back and keep the Swaby sisters partnering each other. But for me, Samson has to start at centre back. She's the one playing the most minutes at centre back in the whole team. So I would start her personally. And then if you want to stay with your better players at centre back, you could also go with these 3 in a back 3. And then you just adjust the system accordingly. You know, now for me, if you go with this type of system, Hines can play a more, you know, a role that she's kind of more used to. And then that's where I would then probably, that would open up a spot for me to use Tiffany on this flank right here. And then maybe Primus is the one that is the odd one out in midfield, because I do think Jade Bailey and Spence would start, for me personally at least. So let's see. So yeah, it could also be something like this if you wanted a little different system of play. And it could be like even, you know, Hales and Adam Malokin up front. And then you have this player in the pocket, right? So, you know, what I would probably do if this was the system, I would put Spence here. And then I would go with Primus in the midfield and not Blackwood. Because I don't think Blackwood should play like central defensive midfield, or, you know, I think she should just be an attacking wide midfielder or attacking winger or a striker. One or two striker them. Honestly, that is what I see her game develop into in Mexico. So why not utilize what she's been doing? You know what I mean? But this is another way it could set up as well, people. So different. I do like the fact that there's a lot of different ways the coach can use the players. I think even if you look at the players I'm not using right now, you know, I haven't used either of the young kids we brought in, Jarvis or Blades, the 20-year-olds who can play midfield. You know, Paige Bailey Gale is there. The twin Days is there. I have McKenna on the bench right now. So I just think that there's a lot of options. Jody Brown on the bench as well. So, you know, who could easily play where Spence playing. You know, I do like Jody wide though, more than anywhere else. I think she was good in this role for FSU, but I don't think it quite translated into the pro game. So let us see, people. But a lot of different ways it could potentially go. I like a lot of things going on. So we say I had one say Spence too far. I guess that was in the beginning. So let me know, people, which one you guys prefer. The first formation I had, or this formation here, the 3-4-1-2, or even 3-4-3, whatever you want to call it. Do you prefer the back 3 or the back 4 based on the personnel we have? Mr. Yee said he was never a fan of McKenna. Yeah, I think, look, McKenna, I understand why quote unquote Jamaican fans don't like McKenna. McKenna is never going to give you anything that Jamaican fans love. She don't shift people, she don't pile people, she don't do step overs, she don't do any of those things. She's a very, I guess you would say, vanilla player. She just does things simply. Control, pass, lay off, it's nothing really. It's not a highly skillful thing that you're gonna get from her. And I think that's why people don't like her, honestly. Because she's effective, bro. She plays well. She holds up the ball well, and she's probably the best finisher in the team. So, I don't know. I think we see her playing a lot of times in games where we don't have none of the ball. We can't get the ball at all. And I don't know. People just, I don't know. I think you have to watch McKenna play for another team to rate her. Because I agree, for Jamaica, I don't really see what she's been doing, because we don't really have a team that possess the ball against most of the teams she play against. You know what I mean? But yeah, she's a incredible. The ball stick to her better than any player that we have. Even Bonnie give her the ball more than she with the back to goal. Why is she a flavor? All right. Maybe I shouldn't say vanilla. I should say, simple. She's a simple player. And Jamaica don't like simple players. Jamaica like players that try all kind of madness. So I think that's why. But anyway, people, I'm going to literally not pick up my data on time because I'm doing this program. So that simply means I have to end it here. Big up to all the people that tuned in. Thanks for the support. I see we have over 40 of us still in the building. I'm very, very thankful for that. At least I know that some other people in the Jamaica football space care about the girls as well. That is good to know. I think I had one that was saying I should start a WhatsApp group chat. So I will look into that as well. Maybe what I'll do is I'll have to just put in the Discord. We'll have to figure out a way how to get all the people into the group, but we'll figure that out one day. But big up to everybody in the building. Thanks again for the support, people. As I said, if you missed this one live, please go ahead and watch it back. It's a long watch, but you can break it down, watch the first part, watch the second part, whatever. But I talk about every single player that was selected, some in a little more detail than others, because obviously we're learning some of these players now. So big up. I have to run, people. Gone to go get the big baller from school. Thanks again for tuning in, and remember, like, share, and subscribe. My name is Jason Gooner. This is Gooner TV, and big up to the Reggae Girlz. Sad to say I can't do a live watch along with you on Friday, but I will be watching, and we will be doing post-match after the fact, all right? My preview show for the Prem this week will be Thursday night, people, remember. So tomorrow night we're doing the PL preview show, which means Friday night I will have time to do a post-match show on the match on Friday, all right? Big up on yourself, and thanks again, and thank you for everyone who appreciated this content. As you know, there's a million things we could have talked about them and them, but none of it not relevant. Reggae Girlz right now, we are say, and big up and all the best, Coach Busby, staff, players, support staff. Until next time, people, I'm Jason Gooner TV. We're out of here, people. Big up on yourself and stay safe. Thanks again.